Hey, 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 hey. All right. Mm-hmm. You already know. Late night. Hello. Welcome in, beautiful people. Welcome in, beautiful people. Listen. I have a query for you. What comes next? You've been freed. No, seriously. Guys, can everyone tap the screen for me? Can everyone tap the screen for me? Share the live. Do all the wonderful things. I think we're gonna need all the push that we can get. I think we're gonna need all the push that we can get, all the help that we can get, all the pushy, helpy, pushy we can get. So if you don't mind, do the things. Do the things, right? Tap the screen, share the live. Send your daily heart me. It's only one coin. It'll help boost the live and push us out to the FYP. Let's see here. Repost. Oh, I can repost that. That's cool. Send the live out if you guys don't mind. Send the live out. We're gonna go ahead and get it cranked up here in just one moment. Let me make sure that we got. Make sure we got everyone set. Let me check in and make sure the tube is tubing. Make sure the tube is tubing. Once we know the tube is tubing, we'll go ahead and crank this thing up. How is everyone this evening? There we go. The tube is tubing. Hey, tube. All right, guys. Tap the screen. I'm going to keep resetting the daily gift goal to the little 1-cent goal. If you guys don't mind, let's knock that out. And yeah, let's get after it.
Yeah, this ain't your regular panel. Nah, we speak the truth. Late nights with Santana and Mama Jones watching. Better keep it clean. Let's go. Late nights, truth in the convo. Everybody get a seat at the table. From the block to the books, we mindful. No screaming, just dreams in the Bible. One mic, one voice, we build bridges from the heart of the hood to the world's big issues. Politics, pay, different cultures, but the real ones listen before they rebuttal. Late nights with Santana. Yeah, Mama Jones watching, so keep it grown. Ain't about flexing, this a purpose zone. Santana hold it steady when it might get hot. But
guys, tap the screen for me. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 8,000 likes. Let's get the likes up to 8,000 likes, and as soon as we get the likes up to 8,000 likes, I'm gonna go ahead and open up the panel.
Late nights, no static. No highlight reel, just the soul's reflection. No shade throwing, just connection. From streetwise truths to deep reflections, we turn hard talks into blessings. They say they run a game, we build new rules. We here to heal, uplift, and break the old rules. They kept us boxed in, divided by fear, but you found us lined up when the truth appears. Yeah, weekly topics, hearts wide open. No judgment, just motion. Real ones are talking, no cussing. Cause Mama Jones still watching, no fronting. Yeah, late nights with Santana. You already know. Late nights with Santana. Late nights, no static. Yeah, Mama Jones watching, so keep it grown. Ain't about flexing, this a purpose zone. Santana hold it steady.
Hope everyone's having a beautiful night.
We ain't here to fight, we here to connect the dots. Mama Jones watching, so keep it grown. Ain't about flexing, this a purpose zone. Santana hold it steady when it might get hot. But we ain't here to fight, we here to connect the dots. Weekly topics, hearts wide open. No judgment, just motion. Real ones are talking, no cussing. Cause Mama Jones still watching, no fronting. Yeah, late nights with Santana. You already know. Late nights with Santana. Late nights with Santana. You already know. Late nights with Santana. Late nights. Late nights with Santana. You already know. Late nights with Santana. Late nights.
Guys, welcome in. Listen, I am so happy and excited to be here. I hope everyone is having an amazing night. Yes, you actually made it in time for the intro song. I'm happy to see you. Happy to see you. Guys, keep tapping the screen. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 8,000 likes. As soon as we get the likes up to 8,000 likes, I will go ahead and open up the panel. I'm also going to keep resetting the daily gift goal to these little 1-cent gift goals. If we can keep knocking those out, it will help push us out to the FYP. And last but not least, Kay just said it, and so I'm going to say it again. Please, please, please send your daily heart me. It's only 1 cent. It will help boost the live and push us out to the FYP. So if you don't mind, do all the wonderful things. Listen, guys, I need you. I need you. So as you all know, we've been dealing with a house divided cannot stand, right? That's been the topic for this week. And within that topic for this week, we've talked about the state of our states. We've talked about identity politics. We've talked about the 2026 midterms. And we've talked about reaching voters. And we've had some really good conversation. We've had really good conversation. We haven't necessarily had diverse conversation, diverse thought of mine when it comes to the conversation, but we've had really good conversation. But with that being said, a couple of things. I really want to have some diverse thought this evening, right? Especially because this is the last night we're going to be doing this topic this week. So I really want, if you're someone who tends to vote on the right, I would really love for you to join the conversation and actually get in on this. But before I let people up, and again, I see there's a few people that are in the box. Hang tight for me just a moment. I'm going to get you in here. I'm going to get you in here in just a moment, but I want to speak to something. So we all know about the tragedy that occurred today in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where at a Catholic church school, or Catholic school, it's a church, there was another mass shooting, right? And as it was unfolding, I was getting updates on it. It's actually super interesting, right? So I was making a video, and the video specifically was in response to JD Vance. And his premise, the video was basically him talking about how unhoused people, they shouldn't have to deal with seeing unhoused people, and they shouldn't have to cross the street when quote unquote crazy people are yelling at them when they're walking with their kids. And the video was based around understanding, like, yes, we do have a crisis here in the country because the amount of people that are unhoused went up by 100. It's either 113 or 118,000 from a year over year. And the premise was JD Vance and the Trump administration, they don't care about unhoused people because there's almost 15 million homes in the United States that are vacant. And so literally, if the United States government wanted to end houselessness in the United States, they could. It's feasible, right? But then my premise as well was also speaking to how they really don't care about their kids either, right? Because JD Vance talked about, oh, you're with your kids and you should be able to do this and da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, they don't care about the kids. They don't care about the kids. Look at the amount of school shootings we have here in the U.S. That was the premise, right? And so I pulled the statistics as far as year over year, the amount of school shootings, mass shootings, and they were down, right? Year over year, down. Now in 2023, we had a record high, 349. But in 2024, they were down by 19 to 330, right? It was down 23% year over year. And as I was making that video, breaking news comes across my phone, and pops up with the information about what happened in Minneapolis. And the only thing that I could think is this confirms exactly what I was saying. This confirms it. Because you have another instance of kids not being able to go to school, kids not being able to go to church. And it's not important enough for people to save the lives of kids. They rather have access to their pew-pews. Their quote unquote 2A right is more important than kids' lives. That was the first thing that I thought of. I thought, you know what? This is a problem in this country. This is an absolute problem in this country, and we have to fix it. That's what I thought. And that's all I really held on to because there was not a lot of information. Information started to slowly trickle out throughout the day, right? And then something I don't even want to call it interesting happened. I don't want to say it's interesting, but something happened. The information came out that the person that was responsible may or may not be. It looks like, I mean, from everything that I've seen, the person may be transgender, right? And instead of it shifting from being this monster, this person took the life of two kids because two kids lost their lives, and what 20 were injured. Instead of it being this person, I don't give a shit who it was, man, woman, whatever, I don't care. But this person took the life of kids and harmed others. It went from this monster did it to, oh, this transgender person did it. I was like, what the fuck are we doing? What is this? What's happening right now? And the story continued to grow and develop and go and go and go. And people on the right grabbed it and held on to it and changed it. And for anyone who watches me, for anyone that knows me and how I do things, I don't really like to talk on things that I don't know about, and I don't like to speculate, not on live. I feel like I have a responsibility and an obligation to bring you all the most accurate information anytime I speak. I don't like to say things that I don't know for sure, things that I can't prove, and I don't like to speculate online. I believe in certain conspiracy theories. I like talking about conspiracy theories. I don't like talking about conspiracy theories on live because they're harmful. I have a platform that reaches, hundreds, thousands, just depending on, what I'm doing, how I'm doing, whatever, right? And so I have a responsibility to, anytime that I get in front of this camera and start speaking, I have a responsibility to make sure that I'm doing it in earnest, that I'm being honest, that I'm being as trustworthy as possible. And so I don't deal with like conspiracy theories, but watching and listening to the people on the right who grab the hold of this information, weaponize it, and theorize, speculate, push narratives. It's just sick. It's sick. Because it went from an instance where we're talking about innocent kids losing their lives to villainizing the transgender community, which again, same as yesterday. Less than 1% of the US population. They didn't somehow overnight become 50, 60, hell, even 10% of the population. They were less than 1% of the population yesterday. There's still less than 1% of the population today, but yet now after that, after this person did what they did, for some reason now the entire community has a target on their back. Think about that for a second. Think about that for a second. That's like saying, that's literally like saying, after Jeffrey Dahmer was found eating black people, that every white man now has a target on their back for eating black people. That's what that's like. How does that make sense to anyone? That's like saying after the DC sniper did what he did, every black person now has a target on their back. None of that makes sense. And instead of actually focusing on what's important, because there's two really important things, right? At least in my opinion. In my opinion, there's two really important things. One, the babies, the kids. As someone who's a father, safety of kids is super important to me. That's number one. Number two, how do we fix this? Those are two things that came to my mind. Number one, the kids. Number two, how do we fix this? Because I can't speak for anyone else. I can't speak for anyone that's watching right now. I can't speak for anyone else. But I'm all out of thoughts and prayers. I don't have any more. This shit just keeps happening. Right? So for anyone that's willing to actually weaponize this, you're the problem. Listening to people on the right talk about this, because people on the right wanted to actually vilify the transgender community, but at the same time say we can't make this political because 2A. Oh, it's not about pew pew reform. It's not about the pew pews. But we got to watch them transgender people. But don't make it political, because if you make it political, then we got to talk about 2A. That's identity politics. That's literally identity politics. That's what we've been talking about here all week. That's where we are. So trying to use this situation as a justification to target a community while not being willing to address the problem. What are we doing? And then I scroll through live, right? I'm on TikTok. I'm trying to kind of get away for a second, right? And I see one of my best friends, Brett Cross, live. And I think about what he had to deal with. This is my phone. This is the back of my phone, right? You guys see that Pokemon card? My phone goes everywhere with me. You see this Pokemon card? That's Uzi. That's Brett's son. And so seeing him deal with that. And then immediately seeing another one of my good friends on here, Eli, join the panel with them. And all I could think of is, holy fuck, right? So I say all that to say, this isn't a time to say, this isn't a time to say, well, it's transgender people. They're the ones causing the problem. Told you, Donald Trump was right. It's not. It's not. Because it doesn't matter if it was the person who did it today. It doesn't matter if it's Dylan Roof in my home state of South Carolina who walked into a church and had Bible study with a group of black people that welcomed him. Doesn't matter if it's Uvalde. Doesn't matter if it's Sandy Hook. Doesn't matter if it's Pulse nightclub. Hell, I'll date myself. It doesn't matter if it's Columbine. The problem is the problem. It's the same problem then, it's the same problem now. It's not a specific group. It's not a marginalized group. Damn sure not 1% of the population. It's the people that's willing to say that their pieces of metal is more important than other people's lives. And not just other people's lives, but it's more important than the lives of kids. And that's identity politics. That's what we've been talking about all week. That's what we need to get past. Because I don't care if you're a Democrat, I don't care if you're a Republican, I don't care if you're independent. You want your child to be able to go to school. You want to be able to go to the movies. You want to be able to go to church. That has nothing to do with politics. You want to be able to live your life. So I'll land my plane here. And I know there's people in the box. I'm going to go ahead and let you in. We're going to get the conversation started. I'm going to land my plane here, though. Identity politics, that's the problem. We should have universal pew reform. Background check, red flag law, all of it. This shouldn't be an issue. This shouldn't be an issue today. I shouldn't have had to make a video earlier talking about how school shootings are technically down because there were 19 less, but we still had 330. And then at the same time of making the video, there's another one happen. That's identity politics. Just in case anyone was wondering. So, I apologize for taking so much time to start the live. But we're going to get into it. So I'm going to start bringing people in. And as I bring people in, please come in and mute yourself. And we'll do some introductions and we'll get started. All right. Hey, guys. You know what? Sorry, I got a little bit distracted. Let me go ahead and reset the daily gift goal. Guys, keep tapping the screen. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 50,000 likes. I'm going to keep resetting the daily gift goal to these little 1-cent goals. If we can knock them out, that'll push us out to the FYP. And we'll go ahead and get started here. All right, we'll start here. Quick introductions. Chris, what up, bro?
Doing well, man. Traveled, took a pit stop in DC and felt like Gotham City up and down the streets. Oh my
Holy
gosh.
smokes. Wait, you were in DC?
Yeah, briefly for work and against my gut instincts. I actually
Oh,
haven't
I
been to
remember you
this.
said that. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't, based on the area I was in, I couldn't live stream or anything for obvious reasons. Plus, I haven't been to the Smithsonian since I was a teenager, so against my own gut instinct, I went in there. It's worse than I thought. They took out a lot of stuff. So
Yeah.
DC looks like Gotham City right now. Regardless, they're not cleaning up the streets. They're just
Technically, they are cleaning up the streets. Like the troops are literally actually cleaning the streets now. Anyway, hold on.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Let's get into it. Chris, can you tell the people, are you someone that normally votes left, right, or independent?
Left.
Left. All right. And so that means in the last election, you voted for...
I voted for former Vice President Kamala Harris.
All right, perfect. And Chris, you were kind of going into it. That's why I want to go ahead and get to it before you did. Chris, can you tell us, what do you think about the current state of our states?
That's a loaded question. I think that the fabric of some of our constitutional values are in challenge right now. Everything from the president trying to deploy the National Guard in other states where the laws say that that's the governor's discretion, right? And that should be like maintained. And everything from like the flag burning and even I mean, you kind of went into it today with your syllogism of seeing that horrible incident in Minneapolis get twisted so many different ways to fit so many different agendas, and it's absolutely disgusting that people would do that for children. But yeah, so to answer your question in part, the division's just getting heavier with every reckless, move, order, post that Trump does. Yeah.
Yep. You're absolutely right. Perfect. Give me a second here. I think that's America First, FDT.
Yes.
What can I call you?
Um, just call me Fox.
Fox. How are you, Fox?
Been better.
Yeah, I
Been better.
understand.
So I woke up this morning
Wait.
in a
Hold on.
bit of
Hold on. I gotta go through the quick things real quick.
go ahead.
Fox, are you someone that normally votes on the left, right, or in the middle, or
Was
independent?
in
I
the
should say.
middle up till Trump.
Okay.
Up till Trump in the middle,
Oh.
then
Okay.
left since then.
Okay. So and that means in the last election you voted for who?
Paris.
Perfect. All right. And last but not least, what do you think about the current state of our states?
Um, that's kind of what was bothering me this morning. I was going through my head. I'm like, when is enough for MAGA? Like, when is it? How many more groups do we have to other? How many more groups do we have to punch down on and marginalize to excuse their hatred, to excuse the desires of one man or an ideology that they say that they're so opposed to? I like what you were speaking to earlier about the Second Amendment. I mean, of all of the vitriol and the just the apathy towards human life to support their desire to own pew pews. I don't know how you like run your life.
Yep.
But then when your back is actually up against the wall, and you fly your "Don't Tread on Me" flags, and when you actually have occupation in multiple states, now you don't want to say anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are we doing?
I think that there is there there's a lot to be said about that. We're gonna hold tight. We'll get back to that because I got thoughts, but I don't want to monopolize it. Give me a second here, Fox. All right. Let's see here. Alicia, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. Alicia, are you someone that normally votes on the left, right, or independent?
Left.
Perfect. And Alicia, so that means you voted for who in this last election?
Former Vice President Kamala Harris.
Perfect. And last but not least, what do you think about the current state of our states?
I don't know how to put it in words. Um, Also, don't apologize. But as someone who's 20 and looking on to this world, it is very much different, as in, like, it is scary to even go outside, even though I have to for school. Um, my school is in a mall, and already with that comes with challenges.
Yeah.
Um, it makes me upset that, of course, what Fox said, that we have to blame other groups for what is happening in America. What is something that could have been prevented, something that could just be simply as universal pew pew protections. Um, it's so simple, but again, it's identity politics.
Yep. It is. All right. Give me a second. Short life. How are you, friend?
I am not horrible.
That's good. That's really good. Short Life, can you tell the people how do you normally vote? Left, right, or independent?
Oh, I'm a raging liberal.
And so that means you voted for who in this past election?
Kamala Harris, of course.
Wonderful, wonderful. And can you tell the people what do you think about the current state of our states?
Let me just say, Trump is dog scooting his bare booty hole
Whoa,
across the
hold on.
Constitution.
Ho. This is late nights. My mom watches this one. We gotta keep it clean. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I said booty hole
Okay.
across the Constitution.
Yeah, he is.
People who can stop him and make a difference just aren't.
Yeah. I think I think the Constitution is now a suggestion, and it's interesting to see. So, but perfect. Give me a second here. Next we have the person, letter D. Is it just D? I'm gonna send you a request to unmute. D going once. D going twice. I guess we're not gonna get to D tonight. All right, moving on. Vic, how are you? Oh, Vic, I'm gonna send you a request to unmute. There we are.
Santana, hey, buddy.
Hey, Vic, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. This time I'm gonna pass off.
I'm sorry?
I'm gonna go ahead and pass off this time.
Oh, meaning you don't want to speak on the panel?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Thanks so much.
All right, I'll drop you down. I appreciate you. All right, guys. You know what? Let's see if we can get one more person in as of now. Then, I think you didn't get to join last night. Let's get you in here. Hey, Blue Canary.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good,
Thank you.
good. Blue Canary, can you tell the people how do you normally vote? Left, right, or independent?
I was raised to be a Democrat. I vote blue. I always vote blue, but I'm not. If there was a better choice that was farther left, I would vote that.
I understand. All right. Well, in that case, then that means you voted for who in this past election?
I voted for Kamala.
Perfect. And can you tell the people what do you think about the current state of our states?
I find this to be a very scary time. I don't understand what the point of invading different states is because I thought the whole Republican shtick was that we're letting everything go to the states and the states make their own decisions, but yet our states are being invaded.
Got it.
So make it make sense.
Okay. Perfect. All right, give me 1 second. Ben, how are you? Oh, Ben, are you there? I don't know if Ben is loading. Ben, can you hear me? I don't know if it's weird. I can kind of see Ben, but then I don't see Ben, so I don't know if Ben is really there. All right. Ben going once. Yeah, I see him on because I have my secondary device here, but then looking at studio, he's like grayed out, and then he's not saying anything. Ben, I'm gonna drop you down, and you can request back up, and we'll get you right back in here. Yeah, Ben, we'll get you right back in here if you request up. I see you now. There we go. Oh,
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Hey, Ben, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Ben, can you tell the people, are you someone that normally votes on the left, right, or independent?
Oh, always right. Right is right.
Okay, perfect. And Ben, and then with that being said, that means that you voted for who in this past election?
Donald J. Trump.
Perfect. And Ben, last but not least, can you tell the people what do you think about the current state of our states?
I think we're doing absolutely amazing. I feel like Donald Trump's doing an amazing job tackling illegal immigration. He's doing a great job with foreign affairs. I just submit my judgment to Donald Trump. I feel like his judgments is definitely the best within the last 300 years or so.
300?
Yeah,
You can't say
that
300. Ben, how old are you?
25.
That's a big claim, 300.
I mean, there's no president better than Donald Trump.
What about he said that Lincoln was better than him.
No, that's not debatable. The only one that's debatable is
But
John F.
Trump
Kennedy.
said that. Trump said Lincoln was better than him.
I think he's just being humble.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Give me a second here, Ben. All right, guys. So just a couple of quick things to remind the people here on the panel. Guys, as we get ready to go through these conversations, please be mindful of using TikTok friendly language. What does that mean? That means using words like pew pew, unalive, mustache man, C19, all of those words to protect not only your TikTok, but the live. Also, guys, please remember this is a safe and friendly community. What does that mean? That means we don't deal with any of the isms, racism, sexism, classism. We also don't deal with any of the phobias, homophobia, transphobia, none of that. We don't play that on the panel nor in the chat. Speaking of the chat. Hey, chat. Guys, please do not use caps. Caps are for mods, and caps will draw my attention away from the panel and to the chat, and we definitely want to be able to have these conversations. And guys, this is the last night of this conversation, A House Divided Cannot Stand, where we look at the multiple issues facing our country. If you are interested in joining the conversation, all are welcome. It does not matter if you're a right-leaning voter, if you're a left-leaning voter, if you're an independent. It does not matter if you didn't even vote. Everyone is welcome. Go ahead and get in the box. Get your opportunity. I'll try to rotate the panel out with some type of regularity so people can get an opportunity to join. But if you're interested, again, this is the last night. Grab a spot. Last but not least, guys, we do have a nightly donation goal of $250, which I want to say W's in the chat for Christopher. Chris started us off right with a $3 donation saying, I'm hyped tonight, so let's get active. W's in the chat for Chris, who sent a $3 donation. Guys, that means we only have $247 left in our nightly donation goal. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks for You. Santana Speaks for You is the best way to support the live. Everything is accepted. Anything's appreciated. If you're over on YouTube, what up, YouTube? What up, Twitch? If you're over on YouTube and you like to support the live, you can do so with a YouTube super chat, just like Milwaukee Atheist, who sent a $5 YouTube super chat to say, hi, Santana, first time here. Is there any way I can get in contact with you? I'm an atheist Bible scholar, and I love to share some resources and arguments. Listen, I'll take it. Get in touch. We have some mods over here on YouTube now. Shout out to the mods on YouTube. Drop information, and one of the mods will get your information. They'll get in contact with Kay. Kay will get in contact with me. It's a whole thing. I am not the most reliable person when it comes to responding to people. That's a Kay thing. That's a management thing. Those two hold me accountable. But W's in the chat for Milwaukee Atheist. Yes, I would love to actually share information and resources with you. Also, W's in the chat for Jazz, who sent a $5 YouTube super chat to say much love, Santana. Jazz, thank you so much for that $5 YouTube super chat. YouTube, listen, I need you guys locked in tonight because I'm going to have a couple of poll questions for you again. We're going to really get going. All right. Ben, since you are the lone wolf on the panel as of right now, as far as right-leaning voters. And again, I'm going to leave this other box open. If there is any other right-leaning voters that want to join the conversation with Ben, not only request up, but drop it in the chat and let me know, and I will get you up here. But Ben, since you're the lone wolf, I'm going to give you the floor first. Ben, so understanding your thoughts around the state of our states, right? The actual standing of our country. I want to get into identity politics, in which I don't know if you were here for, I guess, my opening salvo, but I spoke to what happened in Minneapolis today, right? And I think there's an instance where a lot of people tend to, at first they were saying, "Oh, this is horrible." There's another school shooting, and then they found out some additional information, and they started to automatically target a marginalized community. And my premise is the issue needs to be the focus of what it's been, right? And the issue has been and continues to be the fact that we need some type of common sense pew pew reform in order to not only protect Americans but protect our kids. Ben, do you think that understanding that identity politics has do you think this is identity politics? Is it a situation where we need to address something with 2A, or is it something else?
Yeah, I think it's a mental illness that's going around in America. I feel like a lot of young children, especially towards the left, is dealing with a lot of depression. As you can see, the suspect was a left supporting person. So we need to tackle depression and mental illness regarding more so on the left side because I don't want to be disrespectful, but they're not as sane as the right, right? So probably take them to school or therapy or something because everyone deserves the right to own a firearm. I believe so. So
Okay. So that kind of takes me to where I'm going. All right. So you immediately shifted to, there's mental health. You had me for a second when you said we have mental health issues here within the United States. Because I agree, Ben. I do. I think that we definitely have mental health issues within the United States, and I agree with you. Everyone needs therapy, but I don't think that's a political thing, right? And the reason why identity politics is such a big thing is because something as simple as addressing mental health, which should be something that's available for everyone, automatically gets switched to a political stance. Do you
no,
think that's detrimental?
but when you see that the left is overrepresented on people with mental disabilities and depression and whatnot, obviously we need to tackle that. You guys have to tackle that, right? The left, right? You don't really see that as often as the far on the right side, right? So when I seen the suspect that it was a ginger person who was belonging to a certain community, the LGBTQ, like this has been an uproot problem in our country, obviously. So
Okay,
obviously the
well,
far right doesn't endorses that, but
so wait, let's take a pause then for a second because you you said that, but I'm wondering, like, the fact that you're saying this, are you basing this off of just your view of the world, things that you've seen, or do you have any study, anything that we can reference as an actual, source to say yes that anyone that is actually dealing with any type of mental issues tend to be a quote unquote um, left leaning voter? Because technically I have a quote unquote mental issue, right? I suffer from ADHD. And yes, I do vote left, but I also know tons of people with ADHD that vote right as well. So I guess where are you building your premise off of understanding who does or does not, for some reason, have mental issues?
absolutely. So when you look, I don't want to discriminate any community, but when you see the LGBTQ being overrepresented in school shootings, and you see that their hair color might be blue, red, yellow, we could automatically assume that they voted for the left, right?
Well,
These
so
are
let me
not.
hold on. Let me pause you for a second, because again, Ben, I feel like you're digging. Ben, do you know what identity politics is?
No, you can educate me on that. I mean, I thought that was the
Sure.
question.
Sure. So identity politics is basically using the aspect of a certain marginalized group to vilify them and vindicate certain political aspects, right? I.e., specifically targeting the transgender community and saying, hey, they're the ones that's in quote unquote women's bathrooms, and that's why we need to get them out of women's bathrooms. And then you end up, spending $215 million on less than 1% of the population, and things continue to happen from that point. So, Ben, when you say the queer community is somehow overrepresented in quote unquote school unalivings, again, I go back to you. I'm not going to say that you're wrong. I'm not going to tell you that you're wrong. But Ben, the one thing that I will, ask, especially because I don't know if you heard this in the beginning when I was giving the introduction, but this is a safe and friendly community, and if you can prove what you're saying, then no one can argue with actual facts. But it sounds like that you're making um, some type of wild, connection, because you said you can just look at someone with blue hair and know who they voted for. I think that's a little bit dangerous.
You don't think so? You don't. So, like for example, let's just use today for an example. We lost 2 children in Minneapolis, if I think so. If you had to choose, do you think they voted for the left or the right?
I don't care who they voted for. See, and again, that's what identity politics is, friend.
Because if
It
yeah,
doesn't matter. Why does their voter registration matter when kids lost their lives?
because you guys generalize us, and then you guys get mad when we generalize you guys, which I find very unfair.
Okay. See, again, that's why I don't think you fully understand what identity politics is. But give me a second, Ben, because I don't want this to be a thing with you and I. I do want I'm gonna come back to you. Give me a second. Let me get this passed around to the panel just a little bit, and then we will wrap it back around. All right.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Give me a second. All right. I want to come to Alicia first. Chris, I saw you had your hand up. I'm going to come to you as well, but I want to go to Alicia first because I saw her hand up in the chat first. Alicia, I guess before I respond to anything that was just said, I would just love to hear your premise on identity politics. Does it have a place in our country today, or is it something that needs to kind of take a back seat until we can deal with the quote unquote real issues?
I think I need to take a back seat into things because identity politics is, as you said, it is like if something major happens and say it was just like the mass pew pewing and it was a certain group, it needs to be backed off because again it's harmful rhetoric being pushed out instead of focusing on the real issue being pew pews, being that 2 children were unalived. um it's let's not put essentially let's not put politics in that situation because what happened was children were involved in this mass pew pewing. Politics aside, 2 children were taken away from this day. And, it was rhetoric that spread onto it instead of focusing on that. Parents lost their children, parents are seeing their children wounded and injured, and we need to focus on how to help and how to prevent the situation from happening.
So, quick question: does a pew pew
Wait,
operate?
hold on, Ben, 1 second. Uh, I actually kind of pass it around to the panel, but I'll come back to. I promise you, I'm going to come back to you and give you more of a voice because, again, you're
Sorry
the
about
only
that.
one on the right. But give me a second here. All right, perfect. Thank you, Alicia. Alicia, is there anything else that you want to directly respond to what Ben said?
Yes. I suffer from mental health. I am diagnosed with severe depression and severe anxiety. I was um, diagnosed with this when I was 12, when my parents divorced. Um, I did not have colored hair. I had straight black hair. Just and I was 12. I didn't know how to vote. I didn't lean anyway. I was very apolitical at that time. Um, and now going with it, I'm on medication for depression and for anxiety. And you know, I can tell you that I've had violent thoughts before. I've had them. Um, and I seeked help for it. You know, my mom has been my biggest advocate for this. I've had them. I've talked to my therapist. My therapist talked to me. I'm on medication. So I don't have these thoughts. I don't have the thoughts of self harm. I don't have it. And I also have it from my anxiety. The biggest thing needs to be is, you know, for these people who have mental health problems, you know, how do we get them the help that they need? How do we know that that person wasn't just suffering in silence? How do we know that there wasn't something going on at home? We do the same with kids. How do we know the kids telling the truth that, you know, their parents are taking advantage of them, their cousins or uncles are taking advantage of them? There needs to be step by step processing to find out what happened with this person. You know, I don't care if they were in a community or not. I don't care what race they were. You
All right.
know, if it's a
I,
mental health situation, it should be appropriately dealt with.
Yeah, and I think we can definitely agree that mental health issues are ones that need to be addressed in individual basis, and I think it's important to actually one uh, have the ability to seek help when help is needed, and also two, not feel ostracized for getting said help. But Alicia, thank you so much for that. Ben, I'm going to give you the floor for a half a second before I go to Chris, just so you can, respond or say anything that you wanted to actually speak to, and then I'm going to come to Chris.
Absolutely. So with the far left, again, I don't want to generalize, but you guys don't have lack of accountability. You guys are trying to blame the firearm. The firearm can't operate on its own, of course, right? So we have to blame the person. And as we see, the person is a far left individual with clearly mental problems. So for you to use that as an excuse for you to take my pew pew rights, or it's pathetic. Obviously, I'm gonna always have my firearm to protect myself from these individuals. So yeah, just lack accountability is crazy. Like, you should be able to have accountability, go to therapy or whatever's going on in your brain. And our kids are in danger because these individuals don't know their gender, and then they want to take the anger on our children. That's unacceptable, and that's very worrying.
Sure. And so I know Chris is going to have some data and information. Ben, I'm going to ask you one more time though, because you keep making these actual accusations, and I really want to know: do you have anything that actually backs up your statements, or are we just speaking from a position of feelings?
No, I could get you the statistics. They make up less than 1% of the population, yet they're accountable for 20% of school shootings.
That's not
They're
true.
over
That's
they're
absolutely not
overrepresented.
true. I'm actually looking at the statistics there. So yes, Ben, please go ahead and grab your statistics. One thing that I would love to actually speak to, and I know Chris is gonna get into this, and so I want to grab a couple of numbers before Chris takes them all. Just an FYI, right? As far as prevalent mental illness throughout Americans, right? With a actual study that was completed in 2022, it looks like the breakdown of mental illness is more prevalent in younger people, ages 18 to 25, 36.2%, 18 to 25, and also it's the highest in white people, right? 24.6%. Now, Ben, just really quick, young white people in this past election, who did they overwhelmingly vote for?
Well, it depends what type of mental illness you're talking about. I don't
Sure, but
consider
I just need a
depression or
sure. I just need
anxiety to
a
be mental illness.
sure, but I just need a direct answer to that question. Overwhelmingly, young white people, who did they vote for in this past election?
It was just slightly Donald Trump more.
Not just slightly, overwhelmingly. Yeah. Anyway,
Sure.
give me a second here, and I'm gonna give the floor to Chris, and then I have a quick readout. And Alicia, since you had an opportunity to speak, I'm gonna go ahead and swap you out. Okay.
Yep, that's fine.
Perfect. Thank you, Chris. Floor is yours.
Hello. Yeah. Can you hear me, Santana?
Yes.
So there's a lot of layers on this, right? And the important part about getting to a diagnosis of any issue is to provide the right data, right? Number one, there's no evidence that supports Ben's claim. In fact, there's only been one study ever. I'm going to address the community that he's addressing. This has only been documented. There was only even one time starting in 2009, and even with 2009, and there's been pew pewings way before that. In the history since 2009 of pew pewings, it's only been 1.3% has been accredited to that population, maybe. However, overarching themes, which I'm gonna do what Ben's, I'm gonna do the opposite of what Ben's. He's doing identity politics. We're gonna let the facts speak, right? 99% of school pew pewers ever in American history have been males. 80 to 90% of those have been white, heterosexual males, right? Now, here's what I'm not going to do, right? And this is according to the FBI School Pew Pewer Threat Assessment, comes out annually, right, since the 60s, National Institute of Justice and Statista, and all these other things, right? So what I'm not going to do is just say, oh, it's the conservatives doing all this, even though it just happens to be the demographic that you say would be most of them. But with the problem that we have with what you're saying with the mental health part, Donald Trump's policies are exacerbating the solution to this. What causes things like increased mental health issues, income inequality? We saw that with the TCJ, and this tax policy is going to do it again. Lack of access to mental health institutes, some provisions in the big beautiful bill. So I'm not going to play identity politics, but what I will say is, though, it's dangerous putting it, especially with the population that you're claiming, most school pew pewings. We've only got data from that population since 2009, but through the whole history of school pew pewings, it's been white cishet males from 80 to 90% of it. So I'm just saying we need to get right with the data and provide an actual solution instead of fear mongering like you are right now.
And the
Thank you.
majority of them
Hold
voted.
on 1 second. All right, perfect. Let me read this off, and then Ben, I'll give you an opportunity to respond, and then I want to make sure I introduce the new person that just joined the panel. Okay. W's in the chat, massive freaking W's in the chat for Dora, who sent a 40 Dora and Dora sent a $49.99 YouTube super chat to say heart goes out to everyone today. Thank you so much for that, and thank you for your kindness. Absolutely. Also, W's in the chat for Jacob. What up, Jacob? Jacob sent a $1 donation to say love to see late nights back and to watch my favorite guy. Jacob, I appreciate you so much. You're freaking awesome. Thank you. Also, W's in the chat for Kale. Not Kale, sorry. Eli, I apologize. Eli. Eli, who sent a $10 donation saying, thank you for being a strong leader, a relentless advocate, and a phenomenal father, and one of the absolute hell of a friend. Beyond grateful of you, man. Eli, I love you so much. I swear I do. You are freaking awesome. Thank you so much for that $10 donation. Guys, with that being said, that means we're only $236 away from closing out our nightly donation goal. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. All the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks for You. Santana Speaks for You is the best way to support the live. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. YouTube, I got a poll that's running. Go ahead and if you could, chime in on that poll, because after I introduce the next person, I'm going to close out the poll and give the results. Ben, I'm going to give you the floor, and then I want to introduce J. Rome.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you're saying that majority of men were white straight males. I haven't even denied that. I'm just saying that majority of them are far left leaning. Obviously, they don't vote right. Obviously, we're against violence. We're not like the left.
Do you have data for that?
Hold on 1 second, Chris. But yeah, do you have data for that? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish your sentence. I didn't want to cut you off, but go ahead.
Absolutely. Yeah, I could get it from the CDC web. It's whatever source that do you consider them to be reliable?
The CDC?
Yeah.
Yeah. And just one thing that I will point you in the direction of, again, the white men actually showed up and voted for Donald Trump at a higher clip than any other presidential candidate in U.S. history. So
No, but
literally,
slightly. It was just 55% though, just slightly.
white men voted for Donald Trump at the highest clip of any other president in U.S. history.
Yeah, 55% voted for Trump and 45% voted for
And
Kamala Harris.
that's the highest amount of white men
That's
to
only
show
10%.
up. Right, that's the highest amount of white men to show up and vote for one candidate. That's the point. That's what I'm saying. Donald Trump got the highest amount of white men to get out and vote for him in U.S. history. That's the point. But go ahead and grab that information. Let me introduce the new person. J Rome, how are you?
I am great. How are you guys?
Good, good, good. J Rome, are you someone that normally votes on the left, right, or independent?
I'm an independent.
Okay, perfect, perfect. And so
I'm
that means in this past election you voted for.
I voted for Harris. I'm
Oh,
53 and I voted for Harris.
okay, perfect, perfect. And J Rome, what do you think about the current state of our states?
Uh, I think it's a complete and utter crap show. I'm trying not to curse. I'm cutting back.
And my
But
mom's watching.
yeah. Hi mom. I'm retired military, 30 years active duty.
Hmm.
Uh and my last 6 years I spent overseas and came home to a crap show. And to be quite honest, it's a little disturbing. So I'll say this: one thing Ben said that was correct, that I agree wholeheartedly with, is a pew pew is nothing more than a tool. I am very empathetic when it comes to uh, I guess you can call it mental disorders. Having said that, uh, it's not a party issue. We've made it a party issue. People
Sounds
have
like you
made it
think
a
that it's
party issue.
sounds like you think that it's identity politics.
Well, yeah, people are jumping on the bandwagon. So you can go back and look, to the creation when butt stocks were first outlawed, and then they came back and instituted them again, and how the NRA started donating money to certain candidates, which upped the sales and et cetera, and so on and so forth. Do I think that everyone has a right to own a firearm? Yeah, that's their constitutional right. However, provided they meet the certain criteria, and even with that, even as someone like myself who's been around weapons my entire life, trained with multiple different types of weapons, I still have to go back and refamiliarize myself and retrain myself on a regular basis. Now, I don't know the stats for this, but I can guarantee you the 342 million Americans, minus the under 18s, are not going back every 30 days to retrain themselves on a weapon. And so when you don't do that, guess what you get? Accidental discharges, misfires. People get shot by accident.
Yep.
And
Yep.
people, yeah, so I'm not going to sit up here and when someone's create and makes it a party issue, it really annoys me to my core, because that's not the reason. That is
Yeah.
not the reason. We've made it that.
Yeah, and that's why I say identity politics is such a dangerous thing. But listen, thank you. Hold tight because I got a feeling, got a sneaky feeling we're gonna be coming right back to you really soon. So, hey, Debbie's in the chat. What you send a giraffe, Ben? I got a sneaky feeling we're gonna be coming back to you soon. So hold tight for me just a moment. All right, Ben, did you have that information that you wanted to share?
Yeah, so I only have one device. The only statistics that I could show is possibly that under Trump's administration, we had more shoot. Can I say shootings? Is that
Uh,
fine?
yeah, I feel like we've been saying it a lot. We'll see what happens. Just pew pews, or I don't know. Well, yeah, fuck. Excuse me. Ooh. Yeah. Just talk. Let's not talk. Let's use pew pews for the actual like hand weapon. So
Sure. So as we could see during Trump's administration, there's more school pew pews than Obama. So it was actually doubled actually. So that means you guys are taking your anger on our children at a very rapid pace, right? As soon as Trump gets in office, um, like if you lose an election, you don't have to take it on our children. You
wait,
just be a man
wait,
about it.
hold on, Ben. Let me stop you for half a second. Ben, that's like some type of really wild false equivocation. Like to say that, oh, just because there was more pew pewing under Trump versus under Obama, that it's the actual left taking that doesn't make sense, Ben. Ben,
No, but we're
and
we're
by
reading their
it,
letters
wait,
after they leave
but
letters after they do it, right? So we read
right. So
them. They're
if
against.
you're saying that, then again, Ben, you should be able to actually get some empirical data stating that it's people on the left. Ben, I think the point that you're missing, right, and even we just had J. Rome speak to this, and Chris spoke to this as well. But like the issue that we're having here is that you're making this a quote unquote left and right issue, which is actually kind of interesting because normally it's a trend of quote unquote conservative white men that do these mass shootings, and then the right tends to say, well, this is not a time to talk about politics. This is a time for thoughts and prayers. But this is an opportunity. It seems like that you're leaning into to make it
Under which
politics.
under which administration does it happen more frequently?
But
You
it
don't
just
see it. You
happens
don't
a
see.
lot
You don't
within
see
the
a
United
correlation, or
States. No, but even if by your logic, Ben, right? You just said that more school shootings occurred under Trump versus Biden.
yeah.
So, I'm sorry, versus Obama. So it was people taking out their anger uh, under the Trump administration. Cool. I guess if that's the logic, do you know when the highest record of school shootings occurred?
I have no idea.
Fun
Like a
fact: I talked
yearly
about it
or
at I talked about it. I talked about it on like earlier before I really got into it because I actually made a video about this information earlier today.
no? I have no idea. No.
Sure. The highest number, the actual record was in 2023. We're actually on actual 6-year high as far as school shootings, but 2023 was the record. So are you saying by all intents and purposes, since that happened under Joe Biden, that people are taking out the frustration from Donald Trump on Joe
No.
Biden?
No. The year hasn't ended. There's gonna be more, unfortunately. So
No, I
at the
said
end
in
of 2025,
2023.
yeah,
Year,
2020.
even if you talk about this year, it's down 23%. We're literally on a pace for lower school shootings this year than we did last year, and then 2023 was a high. Anyway, go ahead and grab some actual information, Ben, that really connects that, and I'm gonna come back to you. I know we have a couple other people that haven't got an opportunity to speak, but I want to introduce Kale, and I want to give Kale. Sorry, Eli. I keep seeing the green thing, and I keep thinking that Eli. I apologize.
Oh, it's okay. Actually, a lot of people on the app knew me as Kale.
Yeah, I keep seeing the actual thing and keep thinking it, and not. I'm sorry, Eli. I want to give you the floor. And not only for the quick introduction, but Eli, I want to give you the floor because there's been a lot said. Like, I feel like there's a lot of equivocation. I think someone is like really reaching, but I want to let you speak to it. Eli, first and foremost, can you tell the people, do you normally vote left, right, or independent?
I didn't think I was gonna end up coming back up here tonight, but yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So
I don't know how you do it. Oh, Jesus, I don't know how you do it. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
it's all right. This is so. I said last night there is not a party that is left enough for me, but that being said, I will always vote blue all the way down the ballot.
Absolutely. So that means in this last election you voted for
Kamala Harris.
Perfect. And last but not least, well, forget it. I don't even want to know what you think about the state of our state. Eli, floor is yours. Take it wherever you want.
Cool. Yeah. So I'm gonna get a few things out of the way really quick. Ben, I'm not asking for a back and forth with you. I would just like for you to listen to me, like actively, because I'm gonna share some information with you. Ben, I am a 32-year-old transgender man. In case you don't know what that is, because a lot of people think that means I want to be a woman. I am a trans man, meaning I was assigned female at birth. So just to make sure that that's well understood. I have served active duty for 13 years in the military for you to be able to, I promised, I swore an oath to make sure that you would have the rights to your pew pew that you love so much. And so that you could use your voice to say things, even if they are not backed up by evidence, because I want you to have that constitutional right protected. I'm going to share some stuff with you. I'm actually going to reference a book called The Hate Next Door. I usually don't read from it. I'm not going to be reading a lot. I'm going to be referencing some things though. This book is about an FBI agent who was, and I detest three-letter agencies, but this FBI agent went undercover for 20 plus years, where FBI agents are only typically allowed to be undercover for 2 years at a time because of PTSD and whatnot. This guy, Matson Browning, he went undercover for 20 years, and he was allowed to do that because he was the first person to infiltrate and expose YT supremacist organizations that were all far right, not left, far right leaning people, and he exposes them in this book. Not only that, so I'm going to tell you really quick, right? Let's see. By the way, the sources here are not just from this book, because he does a very good job of citing all of his sources. So, for instance, he cites the source of NPR on August 17th, 2017, in Charlottesville, when a far-right kid named James, who valued things like YT pride and called Germany the fatherland, who enlisted in the army after high school, discharged 4 months later, at 20 years old, lived alone, played video games, ends up hearing that there's going to be a rally in Charlottesville, gathers various a gathering from of various alt-right and YT pride organizations. He ends up driving down from Ohio. In the morning, he marched carrying a shield displaying the logo of Vanguard America, which is a neo-Yahtzee group. Then 2 hours later, he turned down the street in his car, hits the gas, and plows into a large group of counter-protesters. So that's one instance, all right? Another quick instance that I'll reference was a suburban team named Patrick in Dallas, where he ends up going into a Walmart with an AK, you know what, that morning on the online message board 8chan, before it was 4chan, posted a manifesto citing other HATE crimes and the Great Replacement, and talks about the Hispanic invasion of Texas. Anyways, he goes in, customers hiding, employees hiding under tables as he unalives 23 people with this pew pew. And so that would be sourced from, let's see, you can look that up. New York Times, August 7th, 2019. Wall Street Journal, August 8th, 2019. So that would be another far right YT supremacist person. I can keep going. I'm going to mention just one more though, but there's a lot of them that I could mention. Let's talk about Wade, who was a far right YT supremacist. You know those things that you nail hammers into a wall with? Yeah, he belonged to that group of YT supremacists. Anyways, he went to a music festival in Georgia. Sorry. Oh no, he went to a YT Power music festival in Georgia, got excited by the music, relocates to Orange, which is a city in Southern California, which has another booming YT pride rock scene. He ended up, let's see, what was his... he moved to Milwaukee to stay with a new girlfriend. They broke up months later. He stopped going to work, falls months behind in his rent, drives to a temple, which is called Sikh Gurdwara, down the street from a restaurant where he worked, and then unalives with pew pew 9 people. He pew pews 9 people and unalives 6 of them. before putting the pew pew to his own temple and unaliving himself, another far right. I could carry on and continue going on and on and on. But these actually, when we look into the history of these pew pews, not only do we find out that they are not predominantly trans people, that they are not predominantly GAY people, that they are not predominantly Black people, that they are not predominantly Latinos, Hispanics, but we find out that they are indeed cisgender people, or for the people that don't like that word, not trans. We find out that they are predominantly YT people, and we find out that they're predominantly, to like really nail in this point and drive this point home, right wing. And it is not about politics, because what you are doing right now at the end of the day is forgetting that children are being unalived. That's what I need you to understand, because what you are doing is taking everything that happened today and everything that has happened every single time something like this happens, and instead of focusing on what we can do to correct it, all we do is sit here and make it some sort of news headline, and maybe it was this transgender person or XYZ. That should not be the focus. If you really cared about children, you would focus on things that actually would be better for the kids. Because I'll tell you right now, if it does turn out that this was a trans person that did this, I would fucking condemn that person as a trans person myself. Fuck. I'm sorry. I forgot that mom's watching. Mom, please forgive me. I'm very emotional right now.
I've dropped a few F-bombs tonight myself.
Yeah, and respectfully, I did spend a lot of time with my friend Brett, who also lost his son Ben in the Uvalde pew-pewing. So it's an emotional day, and I think that we're entitled to those emotions. Anyhow, when you take these instances and you make them political, it is the most disrespectful thing that you can do to those children and that you can do to the families. And it doesn't show that you actually care. It only shows me that you want to look at people like me and project on me. You want to deflect away from the fact that pew pew reform would be better. Pew pew reform would save lives. But let's deflect from that, and let's just say that people like me are a mental illness and it's my fault, even though statistically we are 0.0000001% likely to actually be at the cause of these pew-pewings. And statistically speaking, YT, straight, cisgender men are 99.999% likely to be the ones and have been the ones at the root of these. And on that, that's all I have to say. Thank you for letting me rant.
Got it. All right. Let me read these two off really quick, and then Ben, I'm going to give you the floor so you can speak. And then I know Short Life had something. Chris had something. We need to also hear from Fox. Fox has been raising their hand. We got to pass it around the panel. So we're going to try to move it around a little bit more. We also got a ton of people in the box. So I'm going to just try to really pick it up and allow the conversation to flow a little bit more. W's in the chat for Joel. Joel sent a $5 YouTube super chat to say the NRA controls Republicans and they together psych. I'm assuming that you're saying psych normal people into being pew pew obsessed weirdos. Yeah, they did. They absolutely did. It's a very, very interesting thing. But W's in the chat for Joel. Thank you so much for that $10 YouTube super chat. Also, guys, massive W's in the chat for Jacob. Jacob added a $1 donation to the nightly donation goal, saying this is pissing me off. I want to give him a piece of my mind. Listen, Jacob, I know. Jacob, not gonna hold you. I get it. But W's in the chat. Thank you so much to Jacob for that $1 donation, guys. That means we're only $235 away from closing out our nightly donation goal. We have 423 people hanging out. We can definitely close that out. If 235 people send $1, we can close out our nightly donation goal. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks For You. Santana Speaks For You is the best way to support the live. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a YouTube super chat, and I will read that message out. Also, W's in the chat for Nightblade. What up, Nightblade? Nightblaze sent a $5 donation saying Eli is a beast. You know Eli gets down. Guys, that means we only have $230 left to the nightly donation goal. Also, if you are currently in the box and you are someone that agrees with Ben or tends to vote towards the right, go ahead and drop a me in the chat and I will make sure to get you up. I'm holding this box open because, again, Ben is at the moment the quote unquote lone wolf, the person that leans right on the panel. And I would love to get more people up here that actually lean right so we can have a little bit more diversity of thought. But if you're someone that's in the request and you tend to lean right or you kind of agree with Ben's perspective as far as pew pews, go ahead and request up and I will get you in the box. Ben, the floor is yours, and then Short Life.
Absolutely. So I appreciate your rant, Eli. So I was listening. So I just want to do key differences between our community and the left or LGBTQ. If you
Are
guys
you
are one.
gonna cite those sources when you do that?
I only have one device, so when I do get my laptop, I will cite it. But I was going to respond back to what she said.
Okay. All right. So, well, and what I'll say is that you definitely feel free to respond, but please, please, please don't, don't generalize as a whole unless we have sources. Because Ben, I'm not going to hold you, friend. You've been up here and you've said a lot, and I've let you continue to speak on it, but we haven't been able to substantiate the things that you've been saying. So I want to make sure that we said that you had a rant. Yeah.
No. It's not. I don't care about.
I was about to say.
Well, I just Ben. What did you just say to me?
Yeah, I don't know. What's your pronouns? I don't know. I didn't ask you.
I even spent like a good solid.
Wait, what did he say?
He used she.
Ben.
No, I used he after. I didn't know. I don't know what to use. You didn't tell me.
I told you I'm a trans man. I told you I'm a man.
Okay.
Yeah, but everyone has different.
Ben. We're not gonna play those games.
What do you want me to address you
He
as?
or Eli, either one. He or Eli.
Yep,
like we're not gonna play those disrespectful games. We're not doing
No,
that.
but yeah, I'm not being disrespectful.
He or Eli. He or Eli. Either one. He or Eli.
Eli mentioned that he was born or was assigned a woman at birth.
Okay,
so
he or Eli. Sure, Ben. He or Eli. We're not gonna play these games. Seriously, Ben. Like I've made sure that everyone stay respectful to you up here, and I'm gonna make sure that you stay respectful as well, Ben.
That's fine. I'll just say Eli. I'll just say Eli.
Thank you.
Okay, so with us, you could actually see that we actually condemn the school shooters, right? Obviously, we believe in God, and we're the ones who actually made the term thoughts and prayers. Most LGBTQ don't even believe in God. They don't do any thoughts or prayers. They don't want any solution. So that's why they get more of a flack than us, obviously. If they don't even believe in God, then what are they trying to do? They don't.
Fuck you, Ben. Just fuck you.
Fuck you and your thoughts and prayers.
Like that. Like the. Chris, you go, because if I say something, I might get banned.
No, I was about to cool it down too. I would say, according to the data, 80 to 90% of these school pewers believed in God. So,
in fact, that's what their white supremacy is rooted in. It's all based on the purity of their race, the purity of their. Yeah, it's Christian nationalism. Hey, Santana, I only came up to address that, so thank you for letting
me. Eli. And I'm sorry about that.
No, dude, you're fine. I get that like every single day, and I put myself in this position on behalf of my community, and I'm never gonna stop. So just thanks for giving me the space to use my voice, and I appreciate you. And Chris, honestly, fucking W. Seriously, dude. Y'all, that is what like being an ally is. Chris was, if I wasn't here, Chris laid down all the facts. It's Ben's comprehension skills that are the problem. And thank you for all the allies. Also, other Chris, thank you for the $2 donation on the Blue app. I appreciate you. Thank you for that. You're the best. But yeah, you can drop me, Santana. Love you, man.
I appreciate you. I love you more. I'm gonna pass it around to the rest of the panel and let you guys speak. I just want to say, like, No, I'm sorry, I still can't. Short life. Floor is yours.
Hi, so I found a study related to bipartisan research into mental health. The source is Johns Hopkins Hospital. If anyone's interested in the actual linkage, I can provide that. Just let me know. This was completed in 2024, so fairly recent. It showed that, and this is just sorry, this is just related to depression, the mental illness of depression, not anything else. Data showed that 25% of Democrats screened positive, 23% of independents, and 20% of Republicans. Statistically, it's not a significant difference in margin, but what is that 78.9 of Republicans are not likely to seek mental health services. 58.9% of Democrats are not likely to seek mental health services, and 58 independents are not likely to seek mental health services. I do think we have a mental health issue. I think we have an issue with stigmatization and access to appropriate, proper health care. And
Yeah.
that's all I have to say about the healthcare part. Mental health care.
Yeah. Um, I think that understanding that one, access to mental health support, right, is hypercritical. I believe in therapy. I believe in people getting the help that they need. I believe in a lot of different things. What I don't believe in is fucking thoughts and prayers, because
You know,
thoughts and prayers is all we've had for years now, when we could have more than that. Um, and I'm not like a religious person, right? I'm agnostic, but the problem that I have with organized religion is the way people weaponize religion. And if you think the only thing that we can do about this is pray about the situation, you've lost your fucking mind. We can't pray this situation away. Doesn't work that way. Fox, you've been super patient. Floor's yours. Sorry.
no, it's fine. And I'm going to try my best not to curse out of respect. It's my
You know
first time
what?
on.
We're already off the rails. My mom's just gonna have to give me a mulligan for this one tonight, because I don't think that I have it in me to not drop another F bomb. So fuck it, we ball.
All right. So I said earlier, when is enough enough?
Yeah.
Like, how much does MAGA have to take? How much does MAGA have to manipulate? How much does MAGA have to marginalize, ostracize, in order to project and deflect from addressing their own insecurities? Because all of the gaslighting and the lies that they tell to themselves. Everyone else sees through it. Everyone else sees the picture of what's really going on here and what's at stake. Trump brought this hateful rhetoric up to the surface. It's always been underlying. As a 21-year Army vet, I always thought that America was somehow virtuous. And after a while, engaging in other servicemen, engaging in other servicewomen, encountering people from different walks of life, come to realize that our history is not as star spangled awesome as we fucking thought it was.
Yeah.
We have a checkered fucking past, and a lot of that is been the same type of behavior that we're seeing right now, but now it's just on a grander stage. Now it's on now we are the world power with all of the levers and the influence, and we're gonna watch the world burn. So what bothers me is that starting from Trump and all the way down, you hear all of the misogyny, the bigotry, the othering of groups, and then the same group clutch their pearls when the tolerant left or the people that they push down, and knock off, push back. All because they can't hold a mirror up to their face. All because they can't look at themselves and come to terms of exactly who and what they are. The hatred that they hold and that they spread is like a cancer to this society. The same reason why we have to revert to thoughts and prayers is because we don't want to do the hard work in looking inwardly and identifying, who we really are as a country.
Yeah.
And the people that are empathic, to the other, like these other groups were labeled as woke, were labeled as weak. In what fucking world, excuse my language again, in what world is empathy weak? In what world is standing up for the marginalized, is standing up for the people in need weak? In what world is sacrifice weak?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And what happens? And what happens if MAGA wins? What happens? Let's just say, that MAGA successfully chases out all of those other people that are somehow the cause of all of their problems. What happens if the left just says, you know what, we're done. Enjoy the country that you so deserve. What happens is that we leave them with the country that so many have fought and bled and sacrificed for. And they have all of the levers of power in this world with no conscience, with no moral compass. Then what? I really feel this, and I've been wrestling with this for months because I really did not. I didn't want to feel this, but I feel like the fight is here, right now, on this soil. Because if we don't win this now, the rest of the world is going to suffer. I always thought that World War III was going to be us versus some rogue country or a couple of countries that causes turmoil on a global stage. I really feel like Donald Trump and what he's doing right now is going to burn every bridge of every partner, of every ally the United States has. The people that are of good character will either have lost this fight or fled, and then it will be the rest of the world against the United States.
Yeah.
And that sickens me to my core.
Yeah. And, so I couldn't agree more, right? I think that we're at a pivotal point in history, and it always feels like we're always saying that it's a pivotal point in history. It's a pivotal point in history. But I feel like it's truly now or never, right? And not just in the sense of like politics, but like holy crap, whether it's the overhaul and dismantling of our governmental systems. I've said this a million times. And I mean it. If we can't actually uphold our democracy, then we don't deserve it. Like if we can't protect it, then we don't deserve it. That's
if I
where we
may
are.
remind
So
everyone here on the panel and listening, make no mistake about it. The people that architect this The people who organized all of this has been a long time coming, said it will be a revolution that will remain bloodless as long as the left will allow it.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
I refuse to just sit there and lay down and allow this shit to happen. Refuse.
All right. I'm gonna read off a couple of things, introduce the new people, and then we're just gonna keep it free flowing. I think that's just the best way to do it, is just keep the panel free flowing, because I know there's a lot of people that haven't got a chance to really chime in, and I want to keep it moving. So W's in the chat for Joel. Joel sent a $5 YouTube super chat to say, I just don't get it, man. A complete lack of empathy, even when it was shown to him, just on hostility and hate. Like, Joel, sometimes that's all people have. Sometimes that's all they have. So W's in the chat for Joel, though. Thank you so much for that YouTube super chat. Fucking massive W's in the chat for Mark. Mark sent a $50 a $50 donation towards the nightly donation goal and said, for thoughts and prayers are bullshit cop-outs. And yes, I said the whole thing because they are absolutely bullshit cop-outs. Thank you so much, Mark. Also, W's in the chat for Lady Starbucks. Hey, Lady Starbucks. Said, miss you. What you're doing is impressive. I'm inspired by you. Also, we miss you on Ryan's stream. Listen, it's been a while. Every time I get off, like, I've been crashing and, other stuff. So I'm going to have to stop back by. I haven't gamed in I don't know how long. I don't know how long, but I miss you guys as well. I'm going to have to stop by really soon. W's in the chat for Lady Starbucks. You are freaking awesome. Also, guys, W's in the chat for Marva. Marva sent a $5 donation. This said donation. And also W's in the chat for Brenda. Hey, Brenda. Brenda sent a $17 donation and said, there's a political importance to prophecy, which is more important than civility and decorum, which were created by white men for the benefit of white men from the start of the political system. It sounds like she's saying F the system. There's a time and place for everything. And, here's the time, here's the place. I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. W's in the chat for Brenda. Guys, that means we are now only $100 from closing out the nightly donation goal. What is going on with my keyboard? We're only $100 from closing out our nightly donation goal. So Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks for You. Santana Speaks for You is the best way to support the live. We got 398 people here. I know for a fact that we can close it out. Everything is accepted. Anything's appreciated. If you're over on the tube, you can go ahead and send a YouTube super chat, and I will read that out. All right. Introducing the new people on the panel, we want to go to Nathan. Nathan, how are you? Oh, Nathan, I'm going to send you a request to come off mute.
Hey, man.
Hey, Nathan, how are you?
What's up, man? I'm doing all right.
Good, good. Nathan, are you someone that normally votes left, right, or independent?
Left. Left all the way.
Perfect, perfect. So that means you voted for who in the past election?
Kamala.
Perfect, perfect. And Nathan,
Absolutely.
What do you think about the current state of our state?
It's horrible. it's bad. It's only been consistently getting bad. As everything's going on in every way, it's always been worse. I don't know why there are any right-wing people who say that prices have gone down, because they haven't. I don't get it.
Okay. All right. Nathan, is there anything specifically that you want to add to where we are in the current conversation?
No, not that I can think of. I'm just listening in.
Okay. All right. Give me a second here. Perfect, perfect. Next, I want to go to Naquan. What up, bro?
What's good, bro?
Good, good. Naquan. Naquan, can you tell the people, are you someone that normally votes left, right, or independent?
Mostly left. I have voted Republican, but it was locally. But I'm mostly left. It all depends on how that person plans on doing. I'm policy over person all day and policy and party.
I understand. Perfect, perfect. So, and that means you voted for who in the last election?
VP Harris all day.
Perfect, perfect. And Naquan, can you tell the people what do you think about the current state of our states?
Oh, I'm gonna be honest. To me, it feels like we heading back to 1930.
Mm.
It feels like we heading back to 1930. Like he's sending troops to areas that, if we actually look at the numbers, which I can provide because I love crime statistics, um, the numbers are lower when it comes to Smyrna. It's lower than any red state, and when you look at those red states, because people love to say, "Oh, but it's the blue cities inside of them." If you remove the statistics of those blue cities, those red states still have higher murder rates, and the reason for that is because they have the loosest pew pew laws. Like New York compared to Florida, we have roughly about the same population. About New York is about 20 million, Florida is about 21 million. But Florida murder rate is like 2 or 3 times the amount of New York.
Mm. Yeah, I think that's an interesting thing because I know a lot of people tend to think for some reason that like um, we know there's a actual correlation as far as like density, population density when you look at cities, but yeah, when you talk about the actual per capita and the homicide rate, those rural areas with those more or less regulations tend to be the ones that have the higher rate. So you're absolutely right. All right, give me a second here, Naquan. And last but not least, Dora. Dora, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. Dora, can you tell the people, are you someone that normally votes left, right, or independent?
Uh, Mostly left, but I have done independent before.
Perfect, perfect. And Dora, what do you think about the current state of our states?
Oh, I think it's scary, honestly. I
Mm,
mean, I'm a woman living here I'm in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which is what, not like number 3 as far as violence goes. And I mean, so what's to say he's not going to bring troops here?
yeah.
It's scary. I'm scared for my children and my grandkids, honestly.
Yeah, I definitely think there's a lot to be said about that, especially when you talk about, I guess, the implementation of this whole premise of behind of like militarizing the police and then actually militarizing the actual military and send them into cities. I'm gonna pass it around the panel more, but at some point I want to hear Chris' thoughts on that, and also Chris thoughts on that, and also Jay Rome thoughts on that, because I know both of you are former military, so we got to get feedback on that. Andrea, what's your username? I'm missing that in the. If you can drop your username in the chat. I think I'm up to date. So W's in the chat for Nightblade. Nightblade sent a $5 donation to say, is it wrong for a white person to call someone an Uncle Tom of the opposite race or a different race? Yes. Yes. Definitely wrong. Absolutely wrong. Don't do that. Also, W's in the chat for Robert, who sent a $10 donation to say, make America Gavin. How do you say this? Make America Gavin's already. Geesh. How can we say, like, can I just say for a second, Gavin Newsom is doing a freaking awesome job as far as trolling Donald Trump. We got to figure out how to make that a thing. Got to figure out how to make that a thing. W's in the chat for Robert for that $10 donation. Guys, that means we're now only $85 away from closing out our nightly donation goal. I know for a fact that we can do it. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks For You. Santana Speaks For You is the best way to support the live. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a YouTube super chat, and I will read that out. All right. So just to open up the panel, I want to come to you, J. Rome. You can either
I
chime in.
apologize. I'm so sorry, host. I don't mean to be rude, but I am going to go ahead and back out because I don't want to monopolize your panel.
Okay, no
And
worries.
just open up the box. But I appreciate the opportunity to speak. Thank you.
Hey, yeah, thank you for coming up. I truly mean this when I said I really appreciate your voice tonight. Like tonight of all nights, I really appreciate what you brought up here. So thank you.
Thanks.
All right. J. Rome, floor is yours. You can either continue with where we're going if you have any additional thoughts as far as the firearm conversation, but I really want to know as well, whenever you get a chance, what do you think about the usage of the military? Because I feel like Donald Trump, the way the military has been politicized is horrible. But like you can look at two instances recently, whether we talk about the Military Day Parade or if you talk about the fact that you have them actually just picking up trash in DC. It's wild. But the floor is yours.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, first and foremost, shout out to Eli. He needs to keep his head up and keep moving forward. He's doing nothing wrong. And Chris, kudos to you on your research. Appreciate it. Spot on. You know, I think my own personal opinion as a strategic planner, I think he's setting conditions for the next 3 years. Setting conditions to put some things in place. But aside from that, the former boss, chief of staff, said it best. You know, we took an oath to the Constitution. We didn't take an oath to a person. We didn't take an oath to a tyrant or a dictator. We took an oath to a living document. And just because my service is ended due to a 30-year retirement does not absolve me from my obligation to defend and support the Constitution, both foreign and domestic. I think people who take the stance and take those sides, choosing a path like this for their own personal needs or their own personal beliefs, the majority of them haven't even read the Constitution. Because if you read the Constitution, you clearly understand that as much as Jerome may not like a white supremacist or whatever, it's their right to be a white supremacist. And it's a live and let live statute or policy, whatever you want to call it. But that's the thing. When you start imposing your own beliefs in society, you systematically disenfranchise another sect of people. And it's no different than what Naquan just said about, realistically, Naquan said the 1930s. I'll go back as far as Wilmington, North Carolina at the turn of the century, the only recorded coup in U.S. history. So I have a problem that we're not using history as a marker and a teaching tool to not repeat the sins of our past. And to be quite honest, it seems like they're taking it right out of the playbook because we're doing it all over again, just in a different flavor. As far as the pew pews and servicemen and women in DC, DC has been on a downward trend for criminal activity. Like Naquan, I am a stats guy. As a former a retired lieutenant colonel in the Army, I can tell you right now that places like Memphis, Tennessee, the Speaker of the House got 3 cities in Louisiana that are popping height with violence. 3 cities in the state of Louisiana by itself. So, you know, the question becomes, why aren't we in the red states? You know, we in at the end of the day, this boils down to the fact that conditions are being set to follow the path. It's been a while since I looked in that Project 2025 manual, but it
Ooh,
seems like we're just following it to a T.
we are. When I tell you the way that that they've been able to actually uh, execute this is absolutely wild. So yeah. It's been absolutely wild. Yeah. Um, I'm sorry, I just saw something threw me off. I'm gonna come back to something in just a second. Chris, I want to give you the floor. I want to know what you think.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Want to thank you for your service, sir. I got out as a captain, so you'd be my superior. Um, Somebody that also I was actually in the National Guard before I was active duty, and I actually got to. This was when I was in college. I had to respond to this incident in Baltimore called the Baltimore City riots, but it was over the death of the unaliving of Freddie Gray. So kind of got like experience like on the ground and things like that. That's why. Plus, I was just at DC, and like the stark contrast is right. You're kind of seeing like when I was up by Capitol Hill when I was recently just there, like you're kind of seeing like the North Korea feel, right? The police, I mean, sorry, the literal police are the National Guard, and they're doing everything from taking out the trash, so sweeping. Like I kind of saw it all. I try not to pay too much attention, but you quite literally step over boundaries when you have the literal president. And we saw this back and forth with Gavin Newsom already in California. But when he's trying to take the authority away from the governor just because he thinks that crime's high, like he can't do that. Just like J-Room said, there was a 30-year decrease in crime in DC, right? And I'm even like from around that area. That's really good. Like July's report was looking pretty good. Also, we have data saying whenever we do what's called, and this gets executed over, it's called a homeless displacement. Not only does it not actually fix the problem, you just end up with a spending problem. Every time those troops are out there in quantities of 800 in DC, that's $2 million of tax money being wasted just to not fix a problem. So he's trying to see how much power he can seize because he's even outside the National Guard, he's even trying to undermine the authority of the mayor of Washington, D.C. Principality. So he said that he wanted to go target New York with the National Guard because he absolutely hates Mamdani, obviously. Chicago, Baltimore. So he's trying to overstep his boundaries with these laws. And to be quite honest with you, you're also looking at a borderline violation of posse como status, depending on what he wants to do. And for anybody that doesn't know what that is, that's quite literally trying to weaponize the military to go do like what the police would do, or like, law keeping and things like that. Like he's going over so many gray lines that it's scary, and somebody needs to step in and stop him. So
Yeah, I completely agree, and I'm hoping that like someone at some point is going to step up and say like, "Hey, I have a backbone," and I don't really see that from the Supreme Court, which is wild. Um, and I don't know like where we're going to get that pushback from.
Silence is complicit.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. And see, that's the issue with not having strong leadership or strong like two parties. In which again, I completely like I disagree with the two party system, right, as a whole. But even more than that, the Congress has ceded power to Donald Trump, and they continue to cede more power. And you see these like random pockets of pushback. I made another video about Lisa Cook, right, who is the governor at the Fed, and being able to actually being able to push back and say like, "Hey, you can't fire me," right? And understanding the reason why he's looking to do so is simply for the being able to insert more power and control over the Fed. Like being an authoritarian is about monopolizing power, and that's how you do so by bringing in those other avenues. So yeah.
You know, I'm sorry, Santana. And somebody please correct me if I'm off on this. So when I retired, I've deployed 6 times, and unfortunately, the majority of my officer time was doing the 14-year war that we had going on. So I had very little time to do the officer thing and go back to school and get a master's degree like most officers did. So when I retired, first thing I did was went back to grad school. And you were talking about this earlier about religion. So when I came home, I decided, you know what? I'm going to go to a Christian school so I get the credentials to tell somebody they're full of crap when they spew out some religious stuff. And so I finished. I have an MPA with concentrations in leadership and emergency management. And one of the things that I realized very quickly in going through this course or going through the program, the US, everybody keeps saying on the right that we're on top of the world, we're the strongest country or whatever. We're the strongest country for 3 reasons and 3 reasons only. Our GDP, our military power, and the fact of the number of nuclear war weapons that we have. Those are the only 3 reasons that we are a super or the most powerful country on the planet. It is not that we're the greatest. Why? Because Chris, you can look this up because I know you got this on speed dial, but we're somewhere around 17th or 18th in healthcare. We are somewhere around 12th in education. Is there something like that? It's been a while since I looked at it. And all of the
12 is
areas
really generous. 12's generous, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. So we sit at number 1 for defense spending, which sits around an average of $880 billion a year. The closest country is China, sitting around 23 billion. The next 10 countries under China don't even combine to make our defense spending. Now, do I think we need to spend that much money in defense spending? Yeah, you're damn right I do. I think we need to spend that. However, I also think we also rank number 1 in per capita for prison, people in prison.
Yeah.
So at 33,
Oh,
34%.
we're industry leading in that.
Yeah. So I'm very wary about the privatization of a whole bunch of things when it comes to public service. I think overall the underlining problem, first rule of solving a problem is actually identifying the damn problem. And the problem is simply this: we've gotten out of the term public and public servant. If you are in government, you are a public servant or a servant leader. You are there to protect the poor and the weak. That is your sole purpose in government.
Yep.
And for anybody that doesn't follow that rule, they shouldn't be in government.
I completely agree, and I think we've gotten so far away from that, and a lot of people don't understand that. And I've said this a million times. I don't care if you're left, right, and independent, whatever the case may be. If it doesn't matter what you have behind your name, if you're not someone who is actually serving the people and doing things that's going to benefit everyday Americans, then with that being said, you got to go. You got to go. You got to get voted out. You got to go. Okay. All right. Let me read a couple off because I did miss one earlier, and I apologize so much. I apologize. It was earlier when, fuck it, Ben was being an asshole, and so I apologize. W's in the chat for Andrew, who sent a $3 donation that said, "Preach, sir, pray. Preach, sir, pray. Preach, sir, pray. Preach, sir, pray." I'm not sure I get that one. Preach, sir, pray. But W's in the chat. Thank you so much for that $3 donation. W's in the chat for Eddie, who sent a $10 donation saying, good luck, Eddie. Thank you so much for that $10 donation. And guys, that means now we're only $75 away from closing out our nightly donation goal. I know we can do it. We got 491 people here. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks for You. Santana Speaks for You is the best way to support the live. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. And also, hold on, I think I missed. Let me make sure I had. Oh, yep, I did. And if you're over on YouTube, you can send a YouTube super chat like Hype Phantom. Got it right that time. Didn't call you Python. Hype Phantom, who sent a $4.99 YouTube super chat to say, you're right. Who knew fascism would come Fanta flavor? I get that one. Because the fascist is orange and Donald Trump is an orange fascist. Fasci orange. And Andrew meant preach, sir, preach. You know what? Listen. Take me to church. I worship like a dog at the throne. And never mind. All right. Let's keep it moving, guys. Let's keep it moving. We have not heard from Blue Canary in like a millennia. Blue Canary, I want to give you the floor. Wherever you want to take it, it's all yours.
Oh Lord. I was writing a bunch of stuff down when that horrible person was talking before because
I'm sorry I kicked him before you got to speak to him.
No, that's okay because it was probably for the best.
Yeah. He was harmful. He was harmful. Like that's yeah.
And I know, like, I think it's important for us to do these lives and to speak with people like him. And I appreciate that when it got too bad that you dropped him. I appreciate that you have a line where you're like, no, we're not platforming you anymore, sir. Have a nice day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you. But I guess one thing that I wanted to make sure to say is today's just it's not even today anymore for me. It's 12:30 in the morning, but yesterday was a really hard day. And I just wanted to hold space for people in the trans community. I don't know if Eli is still in here or not, but or if anybody else is that's in that community. Trans kids are wonderful, wonderful kids, like the actual kids that go to my son's high school. And my son is autistic. So he does get bullied, and a lot of children don't understand or don't get him. He goes, they don't get me. Because, he does his own thing. And trans kids and some of the other like LGBTQIA students in his school have been very supportive of him and been allies. And I cannot say nice enough things about that community in general because I just haven't. I know there are harmful people in every community, but it just hasn't been my experience. I've just never come across anyone that wasn't just pure and lovely. And Eli's one of those people. Although I've never met him in person, obviously, but he's just, I can tell, he's wonderful. So I wanted to first say that because what that man said was awful. And also wanted to point out about what he said about the harmful stuff that he said about the LGBTQIA people not believing in God is absolutely not. It's completely untrue. There are LGBTQIA friendly churches that are just specifically so that they feel more welcome because religions can be so harmful to their community. So they're searching and looking for places to go so that they can feel comfortable, praying, which is just sad. This is just, it's hard. I'm trying to keep up with everything, and I really love being in these lives. Just because it's a good way to stay informed for me. I also go to news sources too, but I really just appreciate being able to listen to you, Santana, and I love Erica and Hector and Chris, and just you guys are all brilliant, and I'll always send people your way. And I'm really enjoying specifically plugging in and listening to Black Women, Mermaid 2, and Kiana, and they're awesome. They're so smart and way smarter than me. And I'm just like taking notes and learning and checking out books from the library that they recommend. But yeah, it's a privilege to be able to listen to you guys. So I just wanted to say thank you, and I'm not as angry anymore. So, you know,
Yeah, no, for
I can
sure.
digress.
I think that like being able to actually learn from other people is such a huge thing. That's why, like, Chris has been sitting in the box for a while tonight, and that's because every time he speaks, I learn something, right? And I think that's
Mhm.
super important, to do so, from learn from each other, engage, and actually be able to really like pull from each other and then pour into each other. And so I truly appreciate not only you being here, but the different people that are here at different times. I think it's truly amazing. So thank you for that. I want to go back to Short Life, and then I want to go back to Nathan. No, I'm sorry, Short Life, Dora, and then Nathan. Short Life.
Yes.
Would you like to? You know what? Maybe we should try to get back a little bit on topic. What do you think about the actual? What do you think about the actual? No, I want to stick here for a second. Um, Short Life, I know, like, I don't know your specific religion, but I do know that you're indigenous, and understanding that, like, there's a different perspective for indigenous people when it comes to religion. I would just like to kind of, if you feel comfortable, have you speak on where the whole religious thing plays a role, with like the whole thoughts and prayers thing, and like justifying not only what happened today, but in general, a lot of the things that occur throughout our country.
So, a lot of natives, even though, we're indigenous, a lot of our traditional teachings were taken from us in boarding schools, the 60 scoop, things like, because the kids, they were taken and adopted out to mostly Christian families. But so while the vast majority do seem to practice some sort of Christianity based religion, we've still found ways to incorporate our traditional medicines as well. A lot, they have Christian, uh, Native American churches. So, like, they preach the Christian religion, but then they have Native songs, drumming incorporated into it. And it's so I don't particularly practice that religion specifically, but my auntie, she does. And like she'll send me videos and everything like that. And it's very moving. Um, but like we burn things like cedar, sage, sweetgrass, and this weekend, me and some of my other friends were gonna go to our local park, and we're gonna burn some sweetgrass, and we're gonna jingle dress dance at the park for healing for the pew pewing that took place technically yesterday, and just kind of process it in our own way, because even though it didn't directly affect us, it does affect us like any other person in this country. And that the jingle dress is known for healing. Like, it's traditionally a healing dance. The songs for that dress in particular are healing songs. And so again, like, even though many of us have the Christian basis, we still incorporate our indigenous teachings. It's kind of hard to explain. I don't know if I'm doing it right. I'm sorry.
No, 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 no. I appreciate it, and I even more so appreciate the perspective that you came in, because I didn't know that. Like you gave me a completely different perspective as far as like uh the view when it comes to the indigenous community, and like I didn't know there was an actual part of the indigenous community that overlapped with like Christianity, which makes sense, right? Colonization and things along those lines. So no, that's perfect. That's perfect. Thank you for that. I want to kind of keep it going on that thought process, right? Um, Dora, Doris, well, first, before I give you the question, is there anything specific that you actually wanted to add or speak on before I throw a specific question at you? Dora, are you there?
Just that I am kind of new to watching all these debates. I started with. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, I've been able to hear you the whole time. Can you hear me? Oh, they're saying you have a delay.
Can you guys hear me now? Hear me now?
Yes, can you hear us?
Can you guys hear me? Yeah, that was weird.
You have a delay.
Sorry, guys. Okay. I don't know. All right, I'll just drop off. It's fine. Someone else can come up. Thank
You have to
guys. I
come
just
back
wanted to know
again.
that I learned so much from all of you.
We've been trying to get you in all night. You have to come back again. Thank you. All right. Guys, massive, massive, massive freaking W's in the chat for, I'm going to call him Fox because he said Fox, but it's America First FDT, who sent a $50 donation towards the nightly donation goal, saying, thank you for being a positive voice. Continue the fight. Listen, I absolutely will, and I need you right here with us doing the same. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for that $50 donation, guys. That means we only have $25 to close out the nightly donation goal. There's 437 people. We can definitely do it. 25 people send $1. Got it knocked out. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. Best way to support the live. Everything is accepted. Anything's appreciated. Nathan, I'm coming to you because you haven't got a chance to speak, and then I need to introduce Jacob, and then we're going to keep it flowing. Nathan, anything that you want to add? Nathan, I just sent you a request to unmute. And Nathan going once. Nathan going twice. All right. Jacob, how are you this evening, my friend?
I'm good. How about you, man?
Wonderful, wonderful. Jacob, first and foremost, can you tell the people, are you someone that normally votes left, right, or independent?
Well, since I've just been able to start voting,
I keep forgetting how young you are.
Yeah, I'm 21, about to turn 22. So like I haven't really been in the political world for that long. So I would say probably just policies is what I look most at for right now.
Perfect. Nathan, can you tell the people, who did you vote for in this past election?
I actually did not vote.
Okay. All right. And what was the reason why?
Um, I
Oh, you
just
were at school, right? Or I'm sorry. Go ahead. I don't want to jump in. I think
um
we talked about this.
yeah. So I was at school and I just I didn't I felt like I wasn't really informed on any of the fact, but once I did my research and stuff, um I've been able to basically just um you know go to like rallies, and I did a lot of stuff to just inform myself and actually get to just know what is the right side, and that I felt like I made the sorry, it's hard to like
Take your time, friend. You're
put
good.
this in the right way. Um, no, I mean, I just, after I, did the research, watched stuff, actually got to be informed about stuff, I made myself just be able to be a part of the community. So I went to a lot of rallies. I've been in your TikTok space from time to time, speaking my mind about stuff. And yeah, no, I just I don't know. It's been a good experience, and I've learned a lot from you and from a lot of creators, and yeah. So
Absolutely, absolutely. And you've been an awesome part of our community, and I appreciate you being here, and even more so, the fact that you're a young man and you are someone that is gonna drive the future in the direction that we need to head in. So, understanding not only politics and making informed decisions and actually driving things is super important. So I appreciate you for that. Jacob, Jacob, what do you think about the current state of our states?
um, you know, um when the election happened and everything, and being a white young male, I saw basically the demographic of a lot of my friends and a lot of people at college, as they got brainwashed by Trump, and this was the cool thing. If you voted the other side, like, you're just a wrong person, and they would like just like do all these things to just you know just like ridicule you. And I knew as soon as he got into office, it was just gonna go downhill.
Yeah.
And I told a lot of my friends that, hey, what you're seeing here is just complete and utter bullshit. He's not doing anything that's benefiting the US. And for you to be doing all of this talking about how Trump's so great, and then when he's not doing great, you just sit there in silence and don't say anything. I mean, it's bullshit in my mind. And it's basically like, I told them that it was coming. They were too ignorant to see that fact, and now when I try to tell them the facts and stuff, they just blow it over their head. And the current state right now is we have no certainty of what the US is going to be. And it's scary because you see all these stuff happening lately, and you're like, well, I'm at a school, what if it happens to my school? And then what's going to happen? And it's just a very scary state of mind. And I don't know, I just it's hard to look into the future and be happy about it, because um it's just so many wrongs and there's not many rights happening. So
Yeah, and see, that's the thing that I always worry about as well, and I think about and I always think about myself because I'm only 38, but I realize that I'm not a young man, right? And I always say I think about like the youth and the kids in the future, and like I think about people like you, Jacob. But like, and then I also think about like my kids, which are actually kids as well, and I think about like what type of country and world we're gonna leave them. It's funny. I was listening to a conversation on another live the other day, and the guy was like, "Well, I voted for Trump because I was worried about the debt for my kids and my grandkids." Right? And he said, well, the thing that had been done well was the actual passing of the oh no, the fact that tariffs were quote unquote cutting into the deficit. And so it was a whole thing, but the I think the point that was missed more than anything was the conversation around, like, if you're saying that you voted for your kids and your grandkids, um it's purely financial. You're not thinking of any of the other aspects, any of the other um, parameters that go into life. Whether we talk about the environment, right, the rollback of regulations, the open pollution of water and air. You think about the actual separation within the country. When you think about all the destabilization around the world, the wars, and all this other, like, there were so many other factors that wasn't considered. And I feel like as you get older, you have to think about the younger generation, and you have to think about those people to come next. And if you're not doing that, then you're doing everyone a disservice. So
Yeah. I mean, the thing about it is, I feel like the youth, they don't really think about the bigger picture. I think when you talk about the youth, it's a lot about the money and the financial aspect of it, because we are college kids, so like we don't have that much money, so like gas and all, they they want to think about the present but not about the whole bigger part of the future. And um I guess I want to say I have a different mindset of it, because I think a lot at night, and I do a lot of reading and studying, and you know i I want to think a bigger part of what's going to make all of us go in a better direction. And right now it's just, we have no certainty, and it's scary. And I feel like in the midterms we just need to I feel like the biggest part of it is we have to get to the youth mindsets.
yeah,
That's like the biggest part.
yeah, no. I completely agree with you. I think that the direction of the youth is something that it has to be addressed, and something that we must address, and I think that's super key. Okay, let's do this. J Rome, Short Life. I'm gonna drop you two down, and thank you both for coming up. We're gonna start to
Yeah,
shrink the
thanks.
panel just a little bit, and
Yeah.
start to drift into that sweet night. So I appreciate both of you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm about to hop off, Santana. I'm about to go to bed. But thanks for having me, bro. Appreciate
Chris,
you.
not the loud mic at the very end. Your mic has been like normal the entire time, and right when you get ready to leave, you turn it up to maximumness.
That's just because I put my big head near it. But thanks for having me, bro.
I
Always good
appreciate.
learning stuff here.
Hey,
Appreciate
thank
you.
you so much for coming up and hanging out. You were really
Yes.
needed tonight. Like, seriously. God dang it. Anyway, all right, a couple of W's in the chat. W's in the chat for Dora over on YouTube is sent a $19.99 YouTube super chat to say, not sure what happened, just know I learned so much watching your lives. Dora, it was the signal. I was saying you have to come back tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but come back and join late nights again. Like, you have to join. Thank you so much, Dora. And then Dora followed it up with another $4.99 YouTube super chat, which it's a lady on a cloud dancing and waving. I'll take it. I don't know what the message is, but W's in the chat. Thank you so much for that, Dora. Also, massive W's in the chat for Blue Canary, who pulled a magic trick but sent a $5 YouTube super chat, say, for the White People Education Fund. I'll take it. W's in the chat for Gene, who sent a $4 donation saying, we all need to learn to work together. We are all just trying to survive Santana Jones. Whatever. Listen. Run from it, hate it, dread it. Santana comes all the same. I am inevitable. Anyway, W's in the chat for Gene. W's in the chat for Andrea. Andrea sent a $1 donation and said, can you please tell me a good book for anti-black BM? I'm assuming that you mean black men? By black men. Yeah, so there's two books. One book would be by I know a lot of people like I kind of mess with Acho in a couple of anyway, Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man by Emmanuel Acho. And then also there's another book that you can check out, Between the World and Me. Those are two really great book recommendations about anti-blackness that you can actually dive into, and it will definitely give you some perspective. So yeah, take those back. W's in the chat for all of the donors. That means, guys, we only have $15 left in our nightly donation goal. We can definitely close that out. There's 449 people hanging out. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks for You, best way to support the live. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. Naquan, you have not spoken in a while. What you got?
I want to touch on what the fool Ben was talking about.
Sure.
I'm tired of people trying to make it seem like it's just mental illness. It's just GANG violence. When we actually look at the statistics from 2017 to 2020, which was the highest uptake in DT groups in America, and definitely with attacks. Just in 2020 alone, there was more DT attacks compared to BLM, but which he wanted to send the troops out for that as well. Also, gang violence only makes up 30% of all pew violence in America. So that still leaves 70% out there. And I'm pretty sure mental illness doesn't make up that whole 70%. The issue is that they don't want to address that because they got to address white supremacy. They got to address the fact that the original Second Amendment wasn't supposed to be. It was supposed to be for individual rights, and they were scared that.
Did you say individual whites?
Individual rights. Sorry, I'm kind of tired. It's 2 a.m.
Yeah, but you did say individual whites, right? I heard that one, right?
It was individual whites too, yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure I wasn't the only one that heard that.
Before the Jane Madison version, they were scared that for black people to have pews and overthrow them. So they changed it to well-regulated militia to add it in there. But again, it draws back to white supremacy. If we address the pew violence that's in America, they got to admit that white supremacy and Christian nationalists is an issue here in America. They're the leading DT groups in America. 13 out of the top 15.
Yep. I think that's important to call out. And the one thing that I always say is, like, it's super interesting that the Triple K is still running around here and not being labeled a terrorist group, right? They have carte blanche to continue to recruit to this day. So that's that.
Yeah, but they labeled BLM as a T group. They labeled Black Panther as a T group. Yep. They labeled Move as a T group and destroyed the whole neighborhood.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, Naquan, hey, I appreciate you coming up, my brother. I needed your levity, and I really appreciate everything that you brought tonight.
You already know, brother. It's always a pleasure.
All right, have a good one.
Yeah.
Emperor, how are you?
Good evening. How are you?
Wonderful, Emperor. The floor is yours. You can take it whatever direction you want. I'm no
I
guardrails.
okay. I just wanted to touch a little bit on the state of our states.
Yeah.
And the state of our state is chaos because this administration has left us with division and not direction. And while we're busy pointing fingers at brown people and black people and locking people in detention centers, they're moving in the complete opposite direction. We see.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Sure.
So did you see that they shut down the judge shut down Alligator Alcatraz, but apparently AP just had a report out. Yeah, I don't know if you saw this, but AP had a report out that apparently there's some leaked emails basically saying it's not going to open back up. Like, not only is it like shut down, but they're not going to be able to open that back up. So it's about to just be a waste of money.
It is, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, we have them opening these detention centers, and now we have billionaires getting bailouts, and we have to talk about Core Civic and how Core Civic is making tons of money and how they donated to Trump's campaign. And Core Civic is one of the biggest groups that are helping them fund these detention centers here in America, and it's like a quid pro quo for the government. We have working class families, farmers that are struggling just to eat, filing bankruptcy left and right. And the real theft is, meanwhile, his trade wars are wrecking the American economy. His tax cuts have ballooned the national deficit, and his culture wars have poisoned trust across the board. And what they're doing is completely just looting the American people's coffers. And here's the kicker: like, he's running on fumes. His approval rating sits at like 40% overall, while 37% approving of his handling of the economy. Like, this is a massive drop from earlier this year, and it's a historical low. It is one of the worst approval ratings in decades, and his second term hit records that are unpopularly low. Like, the foundation of our economy is cracking in real time as global investors grow weary of the U.S. dollar. But this crisis. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, can we also talk about his cankles?
You know what? I'm just gonna
instead of I mean, you're spitting, but don't forget about the cankles.
And you know, the only thing I could say is I'm not gonna talk about what he looks like because we all can see that in real time. That man is crumbling.
So I brought up the cankles to say. So you spoke to multiple facets of our country that's starting to fail, and how he's running on fumes by like his individual approval rating, but like literally his health is failing as well. You can actually physically see that in real time, and I think that's an interesting aspect to all of this, because you have someone that's actually making these actual types of impactful decisions that's occurring in our country, where you can clearly see. Like, I know a lot of times MAGA like to talk about Joe Biden's, cognitive state or whatever, but you can see the actual physical state of Donald Trump, and I hate to say it like this, but he's making long-term impacts, and it might just be a short-term duration for him still being here. But that's why I was saying, don't forget about the cankles.
That's very true. He isn't in the best health. They do like to call Joe Biden Sleepy Joe. But I just think that we are watching YT supremacy on its last legs, fighting for its life. America has always chosen racism over real progress, and that cost us more than just a couple of dollars.
16 trillion.
Slavery, yes, slavery generated over $42 trillion in today's value, and black families never saw a dime. Citigroup estimates that racial inequality has cost America $16 trillion in the last 20 years alone. And this is what he's doing is economic unaliving. So when we talk about the state of our states, the truth is America is paying the highest price tag in history for its addiction to racism. Anti-blackness is expensive. It weakens us, it tanks our economy, and it lets the rest of the world move ahead while we're stuck paying the bill. And I'm gonna say, go ahead.
I was about to say, I don't go too far away from like the loss of money due to racism, because I got an anecdotal story that I want to share about that. But go ahead.
Okay, no, I just wanted to make one more statement, and then
Yeah.
I'm gonna land my plane. All I can say is I wish that we get to a point in America where the Constitution actually functions the way it's supposed to function, because the Constitution says that treason is punishable by unaliving, and these people are committing treason on a large scale. And I'm gonna land my plane there.
Yep. I completely agree. I absolutely agree, and I think even more. Hawaiian Bear, what up? I agree to the fact that it's interesting that the country is willing to sacrifice so much just to uphold racism and white supremacy and the patriarchal system. It's funny. So I was on the live with Dean the other day, right? And we were talking to this white lady, which she didn't really want to talk to me, and I was told that I was rude, but wasn't the first time, won't be the last time. But anyway, so the lady was so wrong about something that she wanted to bet $100 that she was right. $100 that she was right, and I was like, oh, I'll take that bet. I'll take that bet. And so she bet Dean and myself $100, and so then she actually lost the bet, and she was like, well, Santana, I didn't bet you. I just bet Dean. Dean, I'll pay you. I won't pay you, Santana. And then Dean was like, wait, why won't you pay me? No, he said, why won't you pay Santana? She's like, well, because he was rude and I didn't bet him. I just bet you. Dean said, okay, got a deal for you. Instead of you paying me the $100, you can pay Santana $75. Instead of paying me anything at all, because you're already agreeing to pay me, pay Dean. Dean was like, pay Santana $75. And she was like, nope. And Dean was like, okay. Instead of giving me the $100, pay Santana the $50. And you don't have to give me anything. And she was like, nope. And she was much more willing to lose out on an additional $50, because she could have saved herself $50. But she refused to actually pay the black man the $50. She would much rather pay full price and give Dean $100 than give me the $50. That's racism in a nutshell. The fact that you're willing to go above and beyond at your own detriment.
Again, it goes back to that they are the upholders of white supremacy, yet it does not benefit them. Think about the 1994 crime bill. Shout out to Liv. Like they had the money there to allocate to the states for mental health services, so substance abuse services and whatnot. And the states declined it and actually put that money into the private prison system. And now we have what they're now calling an epidemic, an opioid epidemic. Can I say that word on this live?
I don't know, but
You know
we
I
done
say
said a lot of
words.
shit tonight. I'm not even gonna hold you.
Okay. So yeah, so now they have that going on in their communities, along with not having the ability to get their children who are suffering in these rehab facilities because it costs too much money. And Donald Trump's definitely cutting the services for those, for the grants and whatnot, the funding. So I mean, hey, they will literally, pew pew themselves in the foot to prevent helping, colored folks. I mean, black people, black people.
Did you say colored?
I said colored because I was thinking about brown people too.
What the
Hey,
fukata bread?
I just want to let you know I came here for the vibes because I saw that this box specifically was open, and I said it feels good to be home.
Did you see me roll my eyes so hard? W's in the chat for Hype Python, who sent a $4.99 YouTube super chat to say that lady was insufferable. She was absolutely horrible. Also, W's in
Was
the
her
chat.
name Keela?
I don't know.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Because I
I'm
had
not
her
good.
tonight. She was awful.
It might have been. I'm not good with names. Also,
Okay.
W's in the chat for Elizabeth, who's not Elizabeth. God damn it. Olivia, not Elizabeth. Olivia, who sent a $10 donation towards the nightly donation goal and said, thank you for having the important conversations that you do. Olivia, thank you so much for being a part of these conversations. Thank you for being here. And thank you for your support. Guys, $5 left in the nightly donation goal. We can do it. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, All the pay links and link tree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. Best way to support the live. Everything except anything's appreciated. Emperor, were you about to say something, or was that you, E?
Yeah, that was me. I just wanted to piggyback off of what Erica said, and talk about how the big beautiful bill that Trump bragged about. This isn't beautiful. It was a complete stick up. Like, the tax cuts drain the revenue from the states, and now Middle America is feeling it. Those hospitals are going to close in rural towns because Medicaid expansions got blocked, and people cannot afford basic care. And the smug crisis is eating those communities alive, just like Erica just said. And that's what happens when you pass bills for billionaires instead of regular people. And racism is the backbone of it. They want to get rid of all of the poor white people because it does not benefit them in the white supremacy billionaire society that they're trying to create for themselves. And what's going to end up happening is all of those people are going to rush into the big cities and bog down our hospitals with their illnesses because there's going to be nothing left in middle America, in rural America for them. And Erica, you were absolutely correct. And it was stolen by the 1%. And now those same rural communities and counties that voted for him are going to lose their hospitals, their family members to smug addiction, and the price that they sold them was a complete lie.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Blue Canary just said it in chat, but one thing is that they've used them as agents to uphold the system of racism here in the United States of America. However, they've been entrapped in a class war for centuries
Mm-hmm.
that they don't even recognize that they're in this class war. They think that everything is fine, but the things that Donald Trump is doing is definitely gonna impact them also, have a negative effect on them, especially like the cashless bail. I don't think people know how
They
important
have no
cashless
idea.
bail is.
Either way that he
None.
lied about that the other day. Like,
Yep.
did you see him
Yep.
talking? Oh my God.
The one thing that stood out is that he said that he was going to take away funding from the states that have
Yep.
cities that still use it,
But that's the
and
threat that he
so
uses for everything.
it is a threat that he uses for everything. But the thing is, a lot of the red states, they don't like their constituents.
Nope.
They don't like those people. They can't possibly like those people because they're gonna capitulate to exactly what it is that he wants. And within those red states, you do have blue cities, and those cities have not just black and brown people, but also poor white folks. All right. And so I use the example of trespassing because when you say jaywalking, people will say, well, people don't get arrested for jaywalking. They do get arrested for jaywalking, but even so, they get arrested for things like loitering and trespassing. They get arrested for things like unpaid traffic tickets, so on and so forth. All right. And when you have a bill that's set, and to some of us, it can be as low as $250, $500. Even think of the parent who gets arrested because their kid missed 10 days of school. So for truancy, right? Your bill is set at $750. There are so many people here in the United States who are living paycheck to paycheck. They cannot afford the additional expense of $750, of $500, of even $250. So while they try to figure out how they're going to pay that, there's no one taking care of their kid. There's no one working their job, which means that the bills aren't getting taken care of. The kids still ain't going to school unless the kids have now been placed in the care of a family member or even worse, foster care. So there's that. It's a ripple effect that's going to cascade down and it's going to impact people. It's going to impact people to a degree that they can't imagine.
You know what I find hilarious? Just to
What's
jump.
that, love?
Poor white people have been getting hustled by white supremacy for centuries. The last
Sure
time
hell have.
The last time they had any sense was in Bacon's Rebellion in 1676 when broke white people and enslaved Africans said, hey, maybe we should unite and fight the rich. And what did the rich do? They threw some racism on a grill like seasoning and gave poor whites just enough privilege to make them feel special.
There you go.
Here, you're still broke, but at least you ain't black. And they've been eating off that empty plate ever since. Now we
Exactly.
fast forward to now, right? And they're still falling for the same scam. They'll scream about black crime, backup policies that lock us up. Meanwhile, those same policies are wrecking their own lives. Take this cashless,
Don't
like you
recognize
said,
it.
yeah, the cashless bail panic. You think this is only about black people in the cities, but rural America is about to learn the hard way that jails in small towns are full of broke white people who can't afford bail either. And guess what? You're going to be paying that bill with our country you're going to be paying that bill with your county taxes while your hospital shut down and your little cousin is strung out on smopioids. Congratulations, they played themselves, and that is the cost of
Per
white
usual.
supremacy. it
There you
keeps
go.
Congratulations,
it keeps
you played
it
yourself.
keeps exactly, you played yourself, and the cost of white supremacy, it keeps poor whites broke, sick, and unaliving, just so they can say, hey, at least I'm not black, but hate is expensive and y'all can't afford it on your Dollar General paycheck.
Yep.
And that's where I land.
And like
Listen,
Fiona says, they need to recognize that they are too poor to be racist.
Mm-hmm.
I heard her say that earlier. You got to pick one. Got to pick a struggle. But I lean on Old Faithful, right? If you can convince the lowest white man that he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you picking your pocket. Now, picking his
Picking his
pocket,
pockets.
picking his pocket. Hell, give him somebody to look down on, and he'll empty his pockets for you.
Mhm.
Lyndon B. Johnson,
LBJ.
right? I mean, they like. I think that's something that a lot of people miss, and they've given up the game in multiple aspects, right? Understanding that yes, racism is expensive, but like we've actually quantified how racism is expensive in multiple avenues. Whether you talk about the cost of free labor that would equate to modern day time when it came to slavery, whether you talk about the amount of money that has been lost through for the last 20 years due to racism. You can even talk about the actual settlements that have been paid out by banks for like redlining, right? I mean, there's so much behind all of that. But then you continue to see those people, the have-nots, that continue to point towards black and brown people and say, "Hey, you're the reason why I don't have this. You're the reason why I don't have this." And it's super interesting because I know, like, I'm sure, I think I think you did it. Yeah, I know I did it. But like before the election, when Elon Musk became like a popular figurehead, we quantified the fact that, like, hey, this is about the rich. And I'm not even gonna hold you, I'll give you your credit. I think, Erica, you're the first person that I heard bring up the whole point that this is a plutocracy, right?
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
like, literally, if you don't know what a plutocracy is, look it up. Look it up. I don't even want to tell you. No one, we're not going to tell you what a plutocracy is. Everyone's saying, oh, it's an oligarchy. No, no, no. It's definitely a plutocracy. Look it up whenever you have a moment. I dare anyone to go look that up and then come back and tell me that I'm wrong. That's what this is. That's what this is. W's in the chat for Abigail, who sent a $5 donation to close out the nightly donation goal. Abigail, you are freaking awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that. Also, W's in the chat for Dora, who sent a $9.99 YouTube super chat to say that woman was absolutely horrible. I just cannot understand how that still happens. It still happens because racism is taught. It's passed down. Listen, racism is American as apple pie.
It is.
So like
Yeah.
they pass it
Once
down from
it's
youngin' to youngin'.
once it's learned, it's hard to unlearn it.
Yeah, yeah,
So there's that.
yeah. All right, guys, we are over, and it is t-shirt time. Emperor, do you have anything else that you want to add?
I just want to say that the price of plutocracy is the rich stay rich, the poor whites stay broke but proud, and hate is the one luxury item that they can't afford.
They're
And
gonna
it's
say subjugated to a life of poverty.
and it's the most expensive addiction in the country. And you can drop me on that one. But
Oh,
thank you so much for letting me.
don't drop her. Don't drop her. Did you ask the question about her too early prediction for 2028?
No, because someone told me that question sucked. No,
I like
no, no,
that
no,
question.
no, no. I was just joking. Yeah,
Oh,
I honestly I forgot about it tonight. It's been a
it's been a
emotional night.
night.
I've been a bit emotional. Not gonna lie, not gonna
Oh,
lie.
okay.
I've been a bit
And your feelings?
chat. I'm sorry. I've been kind of emotional tonight. That's on me. My bad. My bad. Emperor. Way too early 2028 prediction. Who would you like to see at the top of the presidential ticket?
That's a good one. 2028. Right now, right now the front runner I'll have to say Gavin Newsom.
Mm.
Because right now he seems to be the only Democrat that's out there willing to get just as down and dirty with them. And right now, what we need is people who are willing to get as dirty and as low down as these Republicans are getting. They are all over the place. But you know, my prediction for 2028 as a whole, by then Trump gonna be on his 18th indictment and his fourth hip replacement. Trying to campaign from his rascal scooter with the Diet Coke IV drip, and the Republicans will be so desperate they'll nominate whoever can spell economy without sounding it out. The Democrats will probably be arguing about whether healthcare is too radical, and Gen Z gonna be running the real campaign from TikTok with memes and AI filters. I think that's what 2028 is gonna look like.
That's funny. Accurate.
I'm not gonna hold you. Um, I saw that purple shit on Trump's hand, and I don't think I'm not a doctor. I don't even play one on TikTok, but that shit don't look good.
Mm-mm. Nope.
He has low oxygen flow. That's what it is, a sign of. His veins don't work like they're supposed to. When your veins don't work
God
like they
damn it! I
used
was
to
just about to
before.
do that.
Beat you to it.
Emperor, thank you so much for coming up. I really appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for letting me speak. You guys have a good night.
You as
You
well.
too. Thank you.
Oh damn! I almost ended the whole live. Like I almost hit the wrong
You have
button
to
and
do your
ended the
song.
entire live. Holy smokes.
It
E.
happens. Yeah.
Final thoughts and also way too early 2028 prediction.
Did my earlier. I would do the prediction first and then final thoughts. All right. As I told you. Oh, because I can't do the dream team because you changed the question. It used to be like your
Oh wait, you
dream
did do it last
prediction.
night. Okay, never mind. I
I
don't
did.
I don't need you to do that then.
Jon Stewart and Michelle Obama.
That's unrealistic.
Whatever. A girl can dream. Final thoughts. Just on everything in general. I don't know, man. It's crazy out in these streets.
It really
Like, it's
is.
so much that's happening. It really is. It's so much that's happening. And you want to know the truth, Santana?
Here.
Congress could stop it all.
Yeah. They could, but
The
they're not.
Constitution, the Constitution literally was created not just to create a system of checks and balances, but also to give the power to Congress. Congress literally could keep the president in check, and they're not doing it. They're
Well, and
refusing
that's
because they want this.
I've said this, like they've ceded power
Hmm.
to Donald Trump, and it's really interesting to see them give up like all their power. That's not normal. So
It's
that's a
not.
thing. Yeah.
It makes you think what's going on behind the scenes that they aren't telling us about.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's
Um,
that.
so I was just told to remind people of schedule change. Um, there'll be a schedule change. I'll tell you more. I know for a fact that there'll be a schedule change this weekend. Next week there'll also be a change. I'm not even gonna hold you. If you're a sub, get in the Discord. That's the best place to find the schedule change and let you know when. I don't know. I don't know what time I'll be live, exactly when I'll be live, what I'll be doing, but I'll be here. I ain't going nowhere. I'll get more information as soon as I have more information, and well, more solid information I'll share with you. That's all I got. Sorry. E, want to do the outro?
Like old times?
Don't make it weird, bro. Just yes or no. Either yes or no.
Yes. Too late.
At least this time is, you know what's different this time?
What's that?
Yeah, this ain't your regular panel. Nah, we speak the truth. Late nights with Santana.
We didn't have this before.
Better keep it clean.
That is true.
Let's
That
go.
is true.
Late nights, truth in the convo. Everybody get a seat at the table. From the block to the books, we mindful. No screaming, just dreams in the Bible. One mic, one voice, we build bridges from the heart of the hood to the world's big issues. Politics, pay, different cultures. But the real ones listen before they...
Guys, it has been, I'll just say a night. I'll just say a night. It's been a heck of a night. I definitely thought the end of this conversation this week was going to be a little bit different, but you know what? I'll take the imperfection. I find perfection in the imperfection. So with that being said, thank you all for being here. You all have been amazing, and this week has been really great, and there's no way that I could have had any of this without you. With that being said, guys, thank you for all the gifts, the taps, the likes, the shares. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. I love you all. And E, say it with me as always. Peace. Late nights with Santana. YouTube, you know. Late nights. So YouTube, I was kind of thinking, right? Since we're still here, right? Right, we're still here, and I've decided, like, you know how Marvel does like the end credits or whatever, how they close it out and they still have like the end credits. Maybe we should do that. Like have the end credits. The fact that you guys get to hang out after TikTok, like TikTok is gone. They're gone. It's just us. We're locked in. I guess I'll give you guys a little bit more of a heads up with the schedule. I'm traveling this weekend. I think I'm gonna go do some hot girl shit for sure this weekend. And then also next week is gonna be a little bit. Next week I'm gonna have to get used to a new schedule. And I'm gonna try to keep the overall like live and schedule and everything the same, right? But there might be a little bit of adjustment. I tell you what, especially if you're a member over here on YouTube, yes, YouTube is the best chat. Not gonna hold you. Not gonna hold you. That's why I'm still here with you guys right now. After credit Easter eggs, you got it. You got it. So I was thinking that I might move late nights up like by an hour. Just so I can adjust to the new schedule. But what do you guys think? Like, should I keep it the same? Should I move it up an hour? Should I make it 2 hours instead of 3 hours? What do you guys think? You guys got to let me know what you think. Yeah, I went and checked on Twitch. Twitch is something else. Twitch is something else. Do a Parker raid? Let me set it up directly so we can go straight to Parker. How about that? Let's set it up directly so we can go right over to Parker when I end. And then we can raid Parker. How about that? You guys hold tight for me. Don't leave, okay? If you guys leave, you don't love me. Yeah, I said it. If you leave, you don't love me. Parker's finishing up what as well? Let's check on Parker real quick. Oh, Parker just ended. You guys want to try to FaceTime Parker real quick? And see if Parker answer. Anybody want to FaceTime Parker real quick? I guess we can go ahead. Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can definitely raid Carbon. He might have his phone on Do Not Disturb. I gotta remember how to set up this raid. Oh, redirect. Here it is. He didn't answer. He didn't answer. Yeah, he probably still has his phone on Do Not Disturb. Okay, we're gonna go raid Carbon. Let's see here. We're gonna send a direct raid to Carbon. Wait, is Carbon's live, right? I don't know why his YouTube doesn't just actually go. Like it does this every time. Give me a second. We're gonna go raid Carbon. Da, 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 da. YouTube, I know this isn't like the most exciting at the moment. Parker doesn't hate you guys. He probably just doesn't have his phone off. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb while I'm streaming. So there's that. There we go. Carbon. I thought I was already subscribed to Carbon. That's weird. Okay. All right. So this should actually make it easier. Okay. All right. Let me grab this. Wait, where is it? All right. We're going to go raid Carbon, guys. We're going to go raid Carbon. Here it is. Copy address link. Why does this thing always give me such a hard time? I can't find it. Like I know he's live on, is Carbon live on YouTube? Is he live on YouTube? Guys, Carbon isn't live. That's why I can't find it. He's not live. YouTube, you guys set me up. Carbon isn't live. Dang it. Move it up. Move what up? Oh, lady, you replied too late. You replied too late. Also, you have my number. Guys, my mom is in the chat right now, and she hasn't called me in days. You told I wasn't looking at the screen. My mom and my wife is look, my wife is in the chat as well, and she hasn't called me in days. L's in the chat for my mom and my wife. L's in the chat for both of them. I know Carbon's not live on YouTube. I just learned that. That's why I couldn't find him when I was trying to send the raid. That's where we are. Anyway, guys, YouTubes, I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna get out of here. What's on me? Don't know. Wow. What are you talking about? W's? No. There we go. Look, hype Phantom is a real one. Hype Phantom with the double L's. That's what I'm talking about. Hype Phantom with the double L's. I'm not gonna curse. Why would I curse? I'm not gonna curse. Hey, look, there we go. Lady, have you been over here on YouTube the whole night? I was wondering why I didn't see you on TikTok. If you caught what dude outside? I know Carbon isn't streaming. Yes, it's t-shirt time. All right. All right, I'm getting out of here, guys. I'm getting out of here. YouTubes, I gotta go. 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 YouTubes, gotta go. Make sure you guys like the stream before you go. Before you leave out the house, hit that like button real quick for me if you don't mind. If you don't mind, please and thank you. All right.